Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Rochester Raging Rhino Soccer. Tonight, the Rhinos in Syracuse to take on the Salty Dogs at PNC Stadium. This is Andrew Battisti, your host for the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show. After the match, you can talk soccer with Soccer Sam and myself on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Sam will be in Syracuse tonight. He'll have player interviews after the match, and we'll take your comments regarding tonight's contest. This is match day 22 for the Rhinos. And again, Rhinos in Syracuse tonight starting at 6 o'clock here on the Rhinos Radio Network. Rochester finally returned home on Friday night to friendly Frontier Soccer Stadium to host Western Conference power Minnesota after the Rhinos played those tough 5 matches in 8 days on the road. Minnesota, the top defensive team in the A-League, just 7 goals allowed, but they had not won on the road this season. Rochester, on the other side, had given up just 3 goals at home in 9 matches. Both teams' offenses were struggling, so it promised to be a tightly played contest. The teams had to take advantage of their offensive chances. The Thunder started with their normal 3-5-2 formation, so Coach Erickley countered by starting the top 3 Rhino forwards, Chris Carrieri, Corey Woolfolk, and Doug Miller, at the same time for the first time this season, to which added pressure on the 3 backs for Minnesota. Just 12 seconds in, it looked like a great move by Erickley as the Kirk Wilson stole the ball, fed it up to Chris Carrieri, who found Corey Woolfolk in the box, but his shot was saved by the number 1 keeper in the A-League, Joe Warren. Rhinos pressed forward for the first 20 minutes of the match, had 4 shots, but could not convert on them. Then in the 21st minute, against the run of play, the visitors took the lead. It was David Castellanos winning the ball in the Rhino half. He squared it to his left to Jeff Mateo, who then found Kevin Friedland on an overlapping run on the left. And in the meantime, Castellanos took off for the box, and Friedland's cross found the former Colorado Rapid for a header from 6 yards out that Theo Zagar had no chance of stopping. It was 1-0 to the Thunder, only the second goal scored by Minnesota on the road this year. The Thunder had to feel good at that point. They had not given up more than 1 goal in regulation all season, and the Rhinos had not come from behind to win a league match at all in 2004. But someone forgot to tell the Rochester players about the facts. The team continued to press on offense and got a deserved equalizer in the 39th minute. The play started in the back from David Wright, who put a long ball onto the right side to Doug Miller, who quickly squared inside for an open Sean Securis. Sean used his educated left foot to pick out a streaking Carrieri on the left side, who was 1v1 with defender Kevin Brunt. Chris Brunt, check that. The Rhino forward Carrieri instead of cutting inside, kept going straight into the box and then left-footed a sharply angled shot on the ground that came in front of Joe Warren off the far post and into the net to tie the match at 1. Chris Carrieri's first goal since June 19th against the Seattle Sounders, his 6th overall this year. Let's go back to hear the goal call from Friday night from Don Stevens.
Securis in the center circle moving through. Off the left wing side. Onto the ball at the 20. Carrieri turns the near into the box. Left foot roller. On the post. He scores! Carrieri roller for the back post. Hits the inside of the post. Inside the net. The Rhinos even it at 1.
Well, that was the halftime score. 1-1 was all to play for in the second 45. Rochester looked for the go-ahead goal in the second half, pushing their forwards up even more. Could have been actually a bit of a mistake as Minnesota took control of the midfield, 5 of the Minnesota Thunder players against just 3 midfielders for the Rhinos. However, the possession did not translate into scoring opportunities for the Thunder. They just had 3 shots in the second half. On the flip side, Coach Erickley inserted fresh legs, Yari Alnut, Neto, Noah Delgado, and Ryan Trout, the latter 2 having a huge effect on the outcome of the match. Carrieri was causing headaches for the Minnesota defense all game long, then allowed Kirk Wilson to be left to his own devices. With 3 minutes left, it was the Rhinos' number 21 who was the catalyst for the game-winning goal. Kirk gained possession in midfield and fed a perfect ball forward straight up the field to Delgado. Ryan Trout streaked past Chris Brunt into the left corner of the box. Noah placed the ball perfectly onto Ryan's preferred right foot. This first-time shot from 18 yards right along the ground. Joe Warren, the 6'5" keeper, could not get down for the ball, and it went into the far corner for a 2-1 Rhino lead. Let's hear the call of the game-winning goal from Don Stevens.
Pass off to Wilson. Sneaks it through. Running onto the ball, Delgado. 20 yards out. Rolls it outside. Moving in. Jump shot. Scores! Ryan Trout puts it to the outside of the right side of the post in the net. And the Rhinos have scored. Rhinos take a 2-1 lead.
Well, that was the final score in the match. The Rhinos with a very important victory, 2-1 over the Minnesota Thunder. Ryan Trout's game-winning goal, his first tally for the Rhinos since way back on May 7th against Puerto Rico. Rochester with the victory moved to 13-7-1, 40 points on the year. Second place in the East behind Montreal. Minnesota dropped to 10-5-3, 33 points, still third in the Western Conference. Well, Chris Carrieri's 6th goal of the season moves him up to 19 points on the year. His 7 assists still leads the A-League. That is 7th overall in points in the league. Corey Woolfolk still on 7 goals, 1 assist for 15 points. Kirk Wilson and Pato Aguilera, 8 points each for the two Rhino midfielders. Theo Zagar's goals against, 0.80. That puts him 4th in the league. After tonight's road match, the Rhinos return home for the next 3 contests this Wednesday. It's the big U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal match against the Charleston Battery, a special starting time of 8 p.m. at Frontier. Then it'll be the Rhinos hosting Syracuse on Friday night. Friday Night Frenzy, 7:35 kickoff. And then once again, it's the Charleston Battery coming up on Sunday, the 8th, 1 week from tonight. When we come back on the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show, we'll talk about our opponents tonight, the Syracuse Salty Dogs. There's been some changes in the Salt City, and the Salty Dogs are red hot. We'll tell you all about it next here on the Rhinos Radio Network. Andrew Battisti back here in Rhinos Radio Central. This is the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show. When your phone has a walkie-talkie, you're instantly more productive. No more voicemail, no more phone tag. Just instant access to everybody you need. Every Nextel phone comes with a built-in walkie-talkie feature. That gives you increased productivity at the push of a button. And even better, it works from coast to coast. Call 350-2000 for more details. We're going out to the Salt City of Syracuse with Don Stevens very shortly here on the Rhinos Radio Network, about 20 minutes to kick off the Rhinos and the Syracuse Salty Dogs in a very important A-League Eastern Conference matchup. This year's been a roller coaster ride for the Salty Dogs. They started off strong, just like they did last year. 3 wins and 2 draws in their first 5 matches, and they qualified for their first ever U.S. Open Cup. But then a rash of injuries hit the Salty Dogs. Syracuse went 1-7-1 in their next 9 matches and were knocked out of the Open Cup at Crew Stadium by Columbus 2-1. But then some fresh new faces and the veterans returning to health has allowed the Dogs to do another 180. They won their last 5 in a row up to last night's contest with Minnesota, including a sweep of Montreal in a home-and-home series. Syracuse offense this year has been paced by Chris Doré. He has 11 points, but he's not scored since June the 11th. He is now tied with the very tall and fast Jamaican Michelle Millwood. He had 4 goals and 3 assists, but he was out since July 2nd up until last night against the Minnesota Thunder. The top goal scorer for the Salty Dogs is Anthony Mayer. He came over from the Kansas City Club in the Major Indoor Soccer League. He has 5 goals this year for Syracuse. In the midfield, Lars Lisand, however you want to pronounce it, and Englishman Ian Wone teamed up with former Rhino Timok Suarez, but Suarez has been hampered by an injury. We'll see if he is in the lineup tonight. In the back, another 2 familiar names to Rhino fans, former Rhinos Rene Rivas and Scott Schweitzer. GM Tommy Terno has been very busy. He's brought in some new names to help to solidify the Dogs' playoff run. From Slovakia and the Atlanta Silverbacks came Attila Vende. He has already scored 2 game-winning goals this year for Syracuse. Also coming in is Mauro Carbajal from Argentina. He's played in the PDL for the West Michigan Edge. He has a goal and an assist for Syracuse. Also coming over from the UK, 2 18-year-olds, forward Matthew Barnes-Homer from England and defender Jonathan Steele from Ireland. Well, Salty Dogs played last night against the Minnesota Thunder at PNC Stadium. Coach Buzz Lagos of Minnesota made 7 changes from his lineup that lost to the Rhinos, including putting Terry McNellis in goal, his first action replacing Joe Warren, the #1 keeper in the A-League. After a scoreless first half, the Dogs came out barking in the second 45. Michelle Millwood returned in style, scoring off an Ian Wone corner in the 64th minute to make it 1-0. Then Anthony Mayer made it 2-0, Millwood with the assist in the 75th minute. Then it was Wone capping the night 4 minutes from time. The Salty Dogs hand Minnesota their worst loss this year, 3-0. The Syracuse Salty Dogs now winners of 6 matches in a row. They've improved to 10-7-3. 33 points, just 5 points away from a playoff berth. This is the third of 4 matches between these 2 teams. The Rhinos play Syracuse more than anybody else in the A-League. They will also play one more time in Rochester this coming Friday at Frontier, 7:35 kickoff. The first two matches between the two teams back on May 14th at PNC, it was a 1-1 tie. Chris Dore's goal in the 6th minute was canceled out by a Corey Woolfolk tally in the 67th minute. And then on May 22nd, the Rhinos, needing a win to go into the Open Cup, did so with a 1-0 victory. The goal scored by Doug Miller in the 77th minute. Overall, it's an all even between these two teams. 2 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. Looking at tonight's match, first and foremost at PNC Stadium, the AstroTurf field is the old school AstroTurf. If you're unfamiliar with it, what basically they play on at the Sky Dome and baseball, the old hard surface, the concrete over a very small plastic, very short plastic surface. It's going to be a much faster paced game, much higher speed. Very little tackling can be done on this surface. The ball will bounce high. Syracuse obviously has an advantage playing on this surface every home game. The Salty Dogs come into this match winning 6 in a row. They are red hot. The Rhinos came through with a victory on Friday night. They need not look ahead, though, to Wednesday night's Open Cup match. They must concentrate, the Rhinos, on tonight's match against Syracuse, a very important A-League contest. The Rhinos have got to keep their focus on Syracuse, and then after that, think about Charleston on Wednesday. Rhinos are missing a key figure tonight. Bill Sedgwick is suspended due to too many yellow cards, and also the Rhinos' back line is really banged up. Carlos Mendez, Craig Demon, and David Wright all have some minor injuries. It's interesting what Coach Erkley does in the back tonight. Who will he play? Maybe Carlos Semedo, who's a former Salty Dog. Possibly even Yari Yalnut could see action in the back. He played in the back for the New England Revolution in Major League Soccer. Even possibly a Ryan D'Annunzio has not seen action this year for the Rhinos. We'll see what Coach Erkley does with the starting lineup. We'll find that out from Ron Stevens very shortly. However, the Syracuse Salty Dogs did play last night, so the Rhinos have a bit of an advantage in the fatigue factor. Rhinos had a day of rest yesterday. These are teams very familiar with one another. Noah Delgado, Neto, Carlos Semedo, Sean Securis all played for Syracuse last year. Of course, Scott Schweitzer, Rene Rivas, and possibly Timoc Suarez if he's in the lineup tonight. They played for the Rhinos. These two teams, interestingly enough, though, what could be the difference? Maybe they're the new players from Syracuse that have just come into the lineup. Rhinos are not familiar with these players that have just been brought in by Tommy Tanner. We'll see how that works out tonight. Dogs tend to play very physically. How tight will the referee call this match? If they let play go, Syracuse could have the advantage because they do like to play that very physical style. If it's a tightly called match, a lot of fouls, that could favor the Rhinos. And one last thing to look out for, Scott Schweitzer, the Salty Dogs captain. He will be out of action after tonight. He'll be serving a 3-match suspension due to an incident in Charleston in their last contest on the road. He's going to go all out tonight, as if he ever doesn't go all out, but Scott does not have to worry about playing the next 3 contests, so he'll leave it all on the field tonight. We'll see how much of that is an effect on tonight's contest. When we come back on the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show, we'll tell you about the action going on in the A-League over this weekend, some very important Eastern Conference matchups, that we'll tell you about next here on the Rhinos Radio Network. Andrew Battisti back here in Rhinos Radio Central. This is the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show. Don't forget, it's just being at the game, but without the spilled beer or the spilled Coke, if you will. Join us in the Rhino chat room on the official Rhinos website, www.rhinosoccer.com. Cheer the team on during all away and home matches this season. The chat room is absolutely free. Brought to you by Spinning Webs Internet and PC Services, the official web provider of the Rochester Raging Rhinos. Well, 2 teams in the Eastern Conference were on their last legs Friday, needing a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. The champion Charleston Battery had to post a victory in Atlanta against the Silverbacks, but the Battery were without Paul Conway and Greg Simmons, 2 of their top scorers. Homeside took the lead in the 37th minute. Former Battery player Ivo Ilarianov's cross was put home by Jordy Broder, and then Atlanta scored their second goal in the 55th minute. Broder setting up Alex Pineda-Chacon for a 2-0 lead, and that was the final score. So we will have a new A-League champion in 2004. The Battery are eliminated from the playoffs, the first time they have ever missed the postseason, ending a streak of 11 straight postseason appearances, a soccer record in this country. In Richmond, the Kickers faced Puerto Rico. The Islanders playing very well lately, most of those matches at home. They got the first goal, though, at the U of R Stadium. Chris Gores' cross was put home by Raul Diaz-Arce. Kickers tied it up in the 24th minute. Macomb Cephas, a great individual run to beat Michael Ushi. But Puerto Rico again took the lead in the 58th minute. Diaz-Arce setting up Maurizio for his 9th goal of the year. Richmond then went up a man in the 68th minute when Juninho was sent off. They went till stoppage time. The Kickers were trailing 2-1. The equalizer, though, came in the 90th minute. Kicker stalwart Rob Ukrop fed Matt Delicate for his 7th goal of the year, and it was a stunning finish as Richmond won the game with a second injury time tally. 11-year veteran Ukrop's first goal of the year, a 35-yard blast. Richmond came from behind for a huge 3-2 win that eliminated the Puerto Rico Islanders from the playoffs. Out west on Friday night, it was the top team in the West, Vancouver, hosting the bottom team, Calgary, on Fox Sports World, nationally televised broadcast. After a scoreless first half, the Whitecaps took the lead on the hour mark through Jason Jordan. It looked like it would be the 6th straight shutout for Vancouver keeper Alex Marks, but with seconds left, Mustang striker Stefan Holt stunned the nearly 5,000 in attendance with a 22-yard bomb into the upper 90 to tie the match at 1, and it ended at 1-1 after 110 minutes. Definitely not a good result for the Whitecaps. Last night in the East, a very important match. Puerto Rico was in Virginia Beach against the Mariners. The Mariners needing a win to stay close in the playoff race. The Islanders were missing 2 of their big guns, Juninho and Ricardo Alcero. But the biggest factor was the return of Raul Diaz-Arce from D.C. He played earlier in the day at the MLS All-Star Celebration match and even scored a goal in that contest. Diaz-Arce arrived minutes before game time. He was inserted in the 54th minute by Hugo Maradona, the coach of Puerto Rico, when it was scoreless, and that gave the Islanders the spark they needed. Mauricio was the one who benefited. He scored 2 goals in the 67th and 73rd minutes. The Islanders handed the Mariners a huge loss at home by a 2-0 scoreline. Finally, in Milwaukee, the Wave looked to stay close to the top 4 in the West, hosting Portland, but the Timbers had other ideas. They scored 2 goals in the first 10 minutes. Byron Alvarez and Alex Bengard with the tallies. Milwaukee was missing Greg Howes and Todd Dosowski, 2 of their top scorers. They were with the CONCACAF champion U.S. futsal team, along with Canandaigua native Andy Guastafaro. The Wave could not generate any offense. Josh Saunders had a 2nd straight shutout for Portland. They won it 2-0. 2 matches going on in the A-League today. Seattle is at Calgary. That match should be ending right about now. And a very important match for Rhinos and Solid Dogs fans. The Atlanta Silverbacks are hosting the Richmond Kickers. That match will start at the same time the Rhinos and the Solid Dogs will start. Looking at the Eastern Conference, Montreal leads the way with 43 points, followed by the Rhinos with 40. Richmond 39, Atlanta 38, all bunched up at the top. But Syracuse is right behind with 33 points in 5th. This match tonight is extremely important for both teams. Virginia Beach now falls a bit back with 27. Toronto is at 22. Puerto Rico 21. And Charleston at the bottom of the East with 13. Out west, tie now between Vancouver and Portland with 39, followed by Minnesota 33, Seattle 28, Milwaukee 27, then a big drop down to Edmonton with 15 and Calgary with 10. Looking at the goaltenders first tonight, Joe Warren of Minnesota still leads, a 0.46 goals against. Right behind him is Greg Sutton of Montreal. Alex Marks of Vancouver is 3rd, followed by Theo Zagar of the Rhinos. And possibly who we might see in goal tonight for Syracuse, Byron Foss. He has a 0.91 goals against. Looking at the scoring race, Alan Gordon of Portland still leads with 33 points, followed by Ali Gerba of Toronto and Dante Washington, Virginia Beach with 26, tied for 2nd. And then tied for 4th, it's Mauricio of Puerto Rico moving up into the top 5 with Byron Alvarez of the Portland Timbers. They both have 24 points in the A-League scoring race. And that's it for the Nextel Direct Connect pregame show. When we come back, we'll go out to Syracuse, New York with Don Stevens for all the live play-by-play action of Rhino soccer. The Rhinos and the Solid Dogs tonight from PNC Stadium. This is Andrew Battisti. Join me after the match with Soccer Sam on Behind the Net. And join me right now in the Rhinos chat room at rhinosoccer.com. This is the Rhinos Radio Network.
And good evening to you. Welcome to Soccer Tonight at PNC Stadium in Syracuse as the Rhinos get ready to take on the Syracuse Salty Dogs. This is the 3rd meeting out of 4 between the 2 teams this year. And so far, things have gone not too bad for the Rhinos. They come up with a win and a tie against the Salty Dogs, winning in Rochester and tying here at PNC Stadium. If the Rhinos can come out with a tie out of this one today, they're probably pretty happy, but certainly first and foremost, they're looking for a victory in this one, especially after getting back on the winning track last game with that win on Friday night against the Minnesota Thunder. The Rhinos had gone a few games without a win, so coming up with a victory last game keeps them in the hunt. Currently coming into tonight, the Rhinos are 2nd in the Eastern Conference and 2nd overall in the league, as they have coming up with a victory, now have 40 points. The Salty Dogs with 33, currently standing 5th in the Eastern Conference and still outside that last playoff spot and 7th overall in the league. So very important contest for each team, probably more important for Syracuse than for Rochester here in this one. The Rhinos again coming in after that victory against Minnesota 2-1 the other night. They outshot the Thunder in that game 14-8. And talking with the coach of the Raging Rhinos, Pat Ercole, I asked him if he felt like his team was back on track with that victory.
A little bit. You can still see, tired legs out there, and I think, we were effective in definitely in the first 10 minutes where we put pressure on them, and I thought we had like 2 or 3 opportunities easily where we should have scored. And then, by not scoring, we allowed a goal. I don't think they had many opportunities, but they scored on the opportunity they did. And then the second half was the same thing. They really didn't have too many opportunities, and we were able to get back into the game. So it's a good sign to be able to come back from behind. You don't want to always do that, but to come back and win like that is important.
Now the way things had gone the previous few games, and you gave up that first goal, were you thinking, oh no, here we go again, or what?
A little bit. We talked about the pressure, and when that started not happening, then that certainly made it a little disappointing. But then we put in the fresh legs and we picked up the tempo again, and that made a difference.
It's got to be pleasing, Stinch's defense in the league, Minnesota, and yet you got a couple of goals that game, huh?
Well, but you can't really read into those things. Look at us. We gave up a load of goals there in 4 games in 1 week. And you got Minnesota that's played predominantly at home. They've played 12 home games already. I think they have 9 road games in their last 11. So they're going to give up goals now. They're on the road, and they've already done that now, 5 goals in 2 games.
Right. Did everything work as you had planned as far as use of bodies and so on and so forth in that game?
Yeah, no question. We were able to get Ryan and Noah in later stage of the game and pick up the pace, and Chris did 90 minutes of great work, and we got some guys in the middle of the field where, we started to lose our legs. In all, it was good. I think it's a little difficult right now because we've been kind of very thin at the back. And now with Billy serving a suspension the next 2 games, the Open Cup game and this game, we're kind of thin in that area, and especially because Craig's kind of hobbling a little bit, Dave is, Mendez, so they're all kind of a little hurt. John's coming back, so hopefully, he'll be able to give us a full game today and still be able to use them on Wednesday, we hope.
Well, I know you were hoping that you were getting healthier, maybe more rested, but it doesn't sound like it, though.
No, when you're playing, it's like running a marathon and then saying a week later we're going to run another one. As much as your brain and your heart and everything and your training says you can probably do it, but you're not going to do it the same way you did it the first time.
You had a chance to watch the Syracuse game last night, and Syracuse, a vastly improved team. Why are they doing so much better right now?
Well, I think they picked up some strikers and timely goals and penalty shots, and they're creating the opportunities that they need. And I think it's just been a combination of things that have allowed them to be able to win. I think, but more so than anything, they're playing on a surface here that's initially was causing them fits, and they weren't able to play it to their advantage. But I think with the course of the season, they've become accustomed to it, and this is an advantage if you use it well.
So have they changed their style of play then?
I don't think they've changed the style of play. I think they've been getting the players that they brought in are very big players, so I think they've been getting timely restarts, corner kicks and penalty shots. So those are all part of the goals that they've been getting.
It looks like the roster, you mentioned size, that they're a bigger team than yours. How do you play against that?
It's difficult. I think you probably get on top of each other's shoulders. You have to match up certain guys with certain players depending on their strengths and weaknesses, and make sure that you don't miss your mark. And when they do make substitutions, make sure that you make the right substitutions to match up, or you have the right people on the field that can match up. Last night was an indication of that. Millwood came in; he's 6'2", 6'3". For a player that might be 6 foot, and all of a sudden they have a corner kick and he gets a goal on it. So even though Minnesota played a great game, they gave up a restart goal. It's 1-0. Now it's a totally different game.
Do you change your style of game then?
Not at all in the style of play. Well, that has a lot to do with their style of play. It has nothing to do with restarts. I think we're kind of changing up a little bit tonight based upon the fact that we have an Open Cup game on Wednesday, and we're not going to be using a lot of the regulars for a long period of time. So the guys that are coming in, we looked at being on AstroTurf, being skillful, and having the ability to possess the ball and move the ball quickly, and movement off the ball. So, it's a surface where the ball moves quickly, and if you have the players that can do that, then you need to take advantage of it. The other thing is you got to realize that over the course of 90 minutes that the legs start to wear a lot quicker because of the AstroTurf. So as much as the other night where we were able to get maybe 60 minutes out of players, tonight we may only get 45 minutes out of them.
Yeah, you do have quite a few players who played here for Syracuse, so that is a bit of an advantage, isn't it?
Certainly. I mean, they're familiar with the AstroTurf, and they've played on it before, and there's players that have played indoors. So, we're going to go with a combination of those players and definitely use that to our advantage.
All right, what are you going to do in goal?
Theo Zagar, we feel at this point, like we said before, he's been our key man. We brought him in. He's done a great job. I think Soren has too, but it's important to go with one player down the stretch.
Pat Ercole, the coach of the Raging Rhinos, and he's saying, of course, that Theo Zagar will be in goal for this one. And Zagar coming in now with a 10-5-1 record and a 0.80 goals against average. So the Rhinos, after giving up several goals over the course of the last few games, is it 12 in the last 5? Is that the way it is? Something like that. And the goals against averages were going up by leaps and bounds, but still Theo under the 1 mark and one of the top leaders in the A-League. Well, the Rhinos have been introduced, and they'll be seeing the introduction of the Salty Dogs here very shortly at PNC Stadium. A nice night, not a cloud in the sky overhead. Fairly warm, but not as humid as it has been. So overall, a very pleasant night for soccer here at PNC Stadium in Syracuse. The 22nd match of the season for the Raging Rhinos, match number 22. And the Rhinos coming in with a 13-7-1 record, and on the road a 500 record of 5 wins, 5 losses, and a tie. The 21st game of the season for the Salty Dogs, so Syracuse does have 1 game in hand on the Rhinos. And the Dogs coming in with a 10-7-3 record, and on home turf a 5-3-2 record. Certainly, it could be a huge advantage, as Coach Ercole said during our pregame conversation, a huge advantage for the Salty Dogs playing on this particular surface, which is different than any other in the league. And if they learn how to play on it, or they can take it to make it to their advantage. And 5-3-2 record on home surface right now. So they've played 10 games. They still have 4 games remaining at home. Well, the Salty Dogs have on the road 10 games and also 4 games on the road. So even up, home and road for Syracuse. For the Rhinos, 10 games at home and 11 on the road. So the Rhinos have 4 home and 3 road games remaining. Salty Dogs players are now being introduced. The Syracuse and Rochester each having 4 players from the other team of the previous year. And that, of course, for Syracuse being Tommy Tanner, although he hasn't played at all this year. Timoc Suarez, Scott Schweitzer, and Rene Rivas. For the Rhinos, Neto will get the start tonight. In fact, I think all of the players that came from Syracuse are starting out tonight. There's Neto. There's Carlos Semedo. Also, let's see, I got to check down here and see now which players played last year. Neto. Delgado is another one. Semedo. And am I missing one? That played for the Syracuse Salty Dogs last year. All right, so the players being introduced. And we'll be getting underway. So far here at PNC Stadium, not a huge crowd on hand, although they will announce a big number later on. All right, so Zagar coming in, 4th currently in the league with a 0.80 goals against average. He is 4th in the league with 7 shutouts and 4th in the league with 10 wins. At the other side, we'll be seeing in goal Foss. Byron Foss, a 6'5", 195-pound, 24-year-old from Monarch Beach, California. And Foss last night here defeated Minnesota, giving up 3 goals and recording the shutout, which was his 3rd shutout of the season. He's won his last 6 straight, and in that 6 straight games has given up only 3 goals. So it's quite a string that Foss and the Salty Dogs are on. Coming into this one, Foss is 5th in the league with a 0.91 goals against average, 9th in the league with 4 shutouts. And on the season in his 11 games has a 6-5-0 record and a 0.99 goals against average. The Salty Dogs have added in several new players since we last saw them. And some are making big contributions. Mauro Carabayal is from Argentina, 26-year-old. Actually had been playing, started out at West Michigan Edge of the PDL. But he is coming in, and he's getting a starting nod tonight up front. A couple of youngsters coming into the lineup, 18-year-olds. Jonathan Steele, who's starting the game tonight out of Larne, Northern England. And then the other one who's on the bench tonight, 18-year-old from Birmingham, England. And that being Matthew Barnes, both having played for Wolverhampton Wanderers in the English Premier Division before being released after last season. So there are a couple of youngsters, a couple of new additions to this team. And Attila Vande, out of Slovakia, 23-year-old, who played for the Atlanta Silverbacks. He's in a reserve role tonight, but is available also. And so several new names added to this Syracuse team by the Salty Dogs since we last saw them. And again, they've come in and have really been on a roll. Their 6 straight wins now is a franchise record. That's the longest winning string in the history of the franchise. 6 straight wins. And to say it's been an up and down season for the Salty Dogs might be a little bit of an understatement. All right, the players have been introduced, and we'll be getting underway in a little bit here at PNC Stadium in Syracuse tonight. Again, for the Rhinos, the 22nd match of the season. For the Salty Dogs, the 21st. This is the 3rd of 4 meetings between the two teams. They'll play one more time, and that'll be in Rochester next Friday night. All right. Just checking to see what they're going to be doing. Looks like they'll be getting underway very shortly. So we'll tell you that tonight at PNC Stadium in Syracuse, it is the Rhinos meeting the Salty Dogs, and this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network.
Are you ready to see the USA the Myers way? Myers RV Superstores can get you there during the grand opening of the newest Myers location in Churchville. Myers has affordable RVs to get you and your family on the road for less. 2004 tent campers from $39.99. 2004 travel trailers and fifth wheels from $79.90. The newest motorhomes from $39,900. Plus, Myers has a huge selection, over 1,500 new and used RVs to choose from. Famous manufacturers like Winnebago, Four Winds, Gearbox, Tailgater, Mallard, Pioneer, Timber Lodge, and more. Myers is New York State's largest RV dealer. We've got the selection and you get the savings. If you are even thinking about getting an RV this year, don't miss the grand opening of Myers RV Superstores in Churchville. Open 7 days a week, including Sunday from 11 till 5. Take 490 West, exit Churchville to 111 South Main Street.
The best deals are all at Myers.
And see the USA the Myers way.
Rhinos Radio. AM 1040 WYSL Avon Rochester. FM 90.5 WBER Rochester.
Rhinos and Syracuse about to go at it again, as being the 3rd meeting between the two teams this year. I'm Don Stevens, glad to have you along tonight. Let's check the starting lineups. First of all, for the home team, the Salty Dogs of Syracuse. Starting goal will be Byron Foss, and again, he comes in with a 7-5-0 record and a 0.91 goals against average. The defenders would include Lars Lyson, Frankie Sanfilippo, Scott Schweitzer, the former Rhino, and Ryan Hall. Through the midfield, look for Jonathan Steele, former Rhino Rene Rivas in the midfield, Ian Wone, and Tim O'Neill. And then up front, Anthony Mayer and Mauro Carabayal. So that is the starters for the home team. That's the Syracuse Salty Dogs. And, of course, they wear the black uniforms with dark red numbers on it, which is real easy to see. The shorts, they actually have put white numbers on the black shorts, but the numbers are so small you can't see them. So, well, anyway, just my little complaint for the night, I guess. Starting out in goal for the Rhinos will be Theo Zagar, and he comes in with a 10-5-1 record and a 0.80 goals against average. Zagar in goal for the Rhinos. The defenders including Carlos Mendez, Dave Wright, John Wilson back in the lineup tonight, along with Carlos Almedo. Through the midfield, Roland Pato Aguilera, along with Yari Allnet, Ryan Trout, and Noah Delgado. And up front, look for Doug Miller and Neto. That is the starters for the Rhinos. Now, Rochester wearing the gold uniform. That's the gold jersey with the black shorts and white socks. And again, the Salty Dogs wearing a black uniform with red and white trim and the dark red numbers. They do have a little bit of a white trim around the red number, but you can't see it. Well, at least starting out this half, the backs are to me, so I can see somewhat of the back numbers. Here we go now from PNC Stadium in Syracuse. It's back to John Wilson from his 35. Will left-footed along in the far wing, and the ball popped up in the air, coming down near midfield. Headed again into Syracuse territory. Neto settles the ball, drops it off, and Wilson moving up on the left wing side. As he gets tangled up and double-teamed, the ball taken away, and the Dogs have it. Rivas drops it back, but checking back to knock it loose is Miller. The Rhinos take it away. Otto drops it to his own, to midfield, off on the near side, to Trout, back to his own side of midfield for Mendez. First times it up the right wing, deep to the corner. Miller trying to get to it, won't get there. As the ball rolls out over the end line, and Schweitzer will get to the ball. He'll roll it ahead for his keeper, and the keeper, Byron Foss, will take the goal kick. So we're just getting underway, still in the first minute of play, and no score from Syracuse. Foss backing off, placing the ball to the 6, getting ready for the goal kick. And here's the service. Line drive kick through midfield, across the midfield line. Flick on toward the middle as Caraballo knocks it down. And there's a long shot in by Rivas, way wide right. And, in fact, it's going to bend way out over the touchline, deep in the far corner. Never even hit the line, the end line on that shot. Quite a bend of the ball. So a throw in deep in the corner for the Rhinos. In their own end of the field, in the Rhinos shooting in the net to my right. And it is Theo Zagar in goal to my left. John Wilson with a throw in. Flick on by Allnet toward midfield, but that was knocked away. Coming down the midfield line and through the center circle. Chasing after it on the near side. Getting to the ball is Trout. No, it's knocked away first by Hall, but moving up to help out Aguilera for the Rhinos. Touch to the outside. Miller giving it off to Mendez, to Aguilera. Now the midfield line. Pass up the right wing, but blocked away. It's Trout steps in. He'll slide it forward off of the near wing, and Miller couldn't get to it. He would have put himself in an offside position. So had to turn away from the ball, and it rolls down to the end line and out.
Tonight's defending position is from the Syracuse Orthopedic Specialist.
Schweitzer talking with the linesman on the near side about something, and Coach Lorik Holloway also talking to the linesman. They were pointing at something upfield, not sure which. All right, so another goal kick.
In section 118, row 7C5.
Is Foss, and will deliver through midfield.
You're the lucky winner.
A collision, the ball flick on toward the middle as the ball popped up in the air, and then Mendez plays it aside off of the near wing. However, a foul was called on the Salty Dogs, so it'll be a free kick for the Rhinos. Coming from their own 20. Hard to see the lines in the field, a real faint yellow line marking the soccer pitch, and then, of course, the much brighter white lines for baseball. As the ball is down inside the 18, bouncing loose. Allnet couldn't get the left foot on it as he takes down the defender, Lyson, and the foul is called on Yari Allnet. So the Rhinos getting inside the area, but couldn't quite get a shot away. That'll be taken on the restart by the keeper. Foss will take the kick from about his 15. Turns and looks downfield. Floater this time off the right wing side. Wilson in a collision as he can't get away from O'Neal, and the ball is pushed out of bounds on the far side off the Rhinos. So a throw in deep in the far corner, about 10 yards out for the Salty Dogs. And the throw in back out about the 25. Dogs take it and roll it toward the middle. That stopped as Schweitzer trying to deliver forward in the middle. Knocked loose and passed back near midfield. Turn to the outside on the near wing. As the Salty Dogs looking for a build-up. Chipping up the left wing side, deep to the corner. Blocked inside the near end of the 18, and high pass out in front. That went bouncing through. Out the other side, and underneath it, the Rhinos, Delgado will play it away over the far wing, and it rolls out of bounds. Throw in deep in the far corner for the Salty Dogs. 41 minutes to go here in the first half of play, and no score. Throw in to the far end of the box. That would knot it out top, and Pato is there to bang it away out to midfield. Miller couldn't get to it, knocked loose. It's controlled by the Dogs and played all the way back down to the 18 to the keeper. Fossil first time it through midfield. Low line drive kick coming down to the Rhino 35. And a flick on the near side. And underneath it is Rivas spinning around trying to get away. Now make that Carabayal has the ball is knocked away and taken back. We'll get that name straightened out yet. On the near wing for Trout as he gets tied up. And it's lost away and out of bounds by Hall of the Salty Dogs. Pass it on the near wing. Aguilera drops it off for Wright. Rolls it along in the middle for Salmedo. Tried to play it away but blocked. And it rolls off to John Wilson. Turns it up the left wing side and gets away from one and another. Wilson on the attack across midfield. Draws it up the wing. Plays it toward the middle for Neto. To the outside again. John Wilson down to the 20. Turns toward the middle. Still has a nifty footwork by Wilson. As now he's triple teamed. And the ball, still comes away with the ball. It's a shot in a goal. One hopper scooped up by Foss. Wow. Nifty footwork by John Wilson. Very talented. And the ball then is in on goal, and Foss grabs it. Kickoff time, they list is 6:13. Actually, and the temperature it's 78 degrees here tonight. On ball downfield, trying to hit it toward the middle is Mayer, and that one is then volleyed away to midfield. Wilson looking for the through ball to Miller, but he's in behind, or actually was it Neto in behind and offside against the Rhinos. First offside of the match. On the restart, that one pushed up the right wing side. Mendez moving in as the whistle blows and touched it with a hand, so a handball. And right at the near corner of the box will be the kick for the Salty Dogs. Right at the corner. .39 minutes to go. Here's a quick service in front and headed away out the far end of the box by Mendez. Rolling deep to the far corner. Underneath the Delgado tied up. The Dogs take it back and cross it on the 18, but headed away by Trout out near midfield. As the ball stopped and brought forward by Hall, trying to sneak it through. Salmedo gets the leg on it, and that's deflected off at the far wing. Deep to the corner as Wilson after rolls it up the left wing side for Delgado. Takes a look downfield as he's chasing behind, trying to get away. Comes loose, but Salmedo's there, and he'll hammer it away and across midfield. Miller after trying to beat Foss to the ball, but Foss gets to it first and volleys it in the air and up through midfield. Foss has a long way to go to get back in goal, but does, as he was all the way out to around the 40. Played along the midfield line, off on the near side, and stepping up on the left wing. It's passed toward the middle by Hall, and then cleared into Rhino territory, down one hop. It's picked up on the second hop by the Rhino keeper, Theo Zagar. Mendez rolls it ahead. One touch ahead, Aguilera for Neto. Checking back for the ball. Deflected away from Mayer and recovered by the Dogs. In the middle, as turning to his right, Rivas. Rene Rivas pass over the far wing. Mendez knocked it loose, and that one tipped out toward the center circle, and Delgado comes away for the Rhinos. Across the midfield line, looking to sneak the ball through, as Miller on the attack, but that one is knocked away, and down to the keeper. Foss first times it away to the midfield line. Again, the Dogs have it. Spinning around on the right wing side, as Rene Rivas lays it to the outside. And moving out across midfield, Lyson on the right wing, as on the attack, down to the Rhino 30 and in the middle. It is a feed off on the right side, moving in, a shot is knocked away, cleared off, and on the near side by Mendez, it looks like, gets it off in the corner for Ryan Trout. Great opportunity, and the Dogs couldn't finish it, couldn't get a shot away. As the ball is picked up again, Carabayal pass out to the center circle, as Rivas plays it off on the left wing side. Hall to the outside for Schweitzer on the near wing, and his pass up the wing, but Mendez gets in the way and knocked the ball down. Aguilera drops it back in the corner for Mendez along the near side. Neto one touch ahead for Allnet. Turns it to the outside again for Neto, but his pass picked off and is recovered by the Salty Dogs. Hall clears it through midfield and off on the far wing as it rolls up the wing off the pass from Lyson. Turning back again, Lyson has it his own side of midfield and rolls it toward the middle. Gives it off to Scott Schweitzer. Draws it forward. Pass to the left wing side for Hall. And on the attack out toward midfield. Hall's pass, but Neto gets the foot on it to knock it away. Trout up the near wing for Neto. Drops it toward the middle, but not enough on it as Schweitzer steps in to intercept. His pass to the center circle. One touch forward, and Salmedo steps up to take it away, and the Rhinos have the ball. Through the center circle. Tripped up, goes down, foul is called, and Salmedo grabbing onto his right knee as there will be a confrontation there. The referee gives Rene Rivas a scolding, but no plastic makes an appearance. 36 minutes to go here in the first half, and no score from Syracuse. Sponsors of this broadcast include Spinning Webs, the official website provider of the Rhinos. Connolly Printing, 108 years of experience. Also brought to you by Tunes by Todd, DJ service for all your entertainment needs. Go to tunesbytodd.com. And by Webster Chrysler Jeep at 2111 Empire Boulevard in Webster. Rhinos trainer Dave DePasquale is called out onto the field to take a look at Cemento. Is grabbing onto his left knee, it looks like. Rivas looked like he went to take a kick of the ball, and they collide maybe knee to knee a bit. Collision there. By the way, when I was giving you the starting lineups, I failed to mention that the starting lineups brought to you by MGM Associates. So I'll mention it now. MGM Associates provides the starting lineups each game. All right, Cemento is up and walking under his own power, limping a little bit on the left leg. And now picking it up, he'll try and run it off as he heads over to the near side of the pitch at the midfield line. And talking to the fourth official, where he'll be trying to get back on as quickly as possible. Set for the restart. The Rhinos have the ball. Center circle. Dave Wright to deliver. Goes a low delivery down in front, but that was knocked away and played by Mayer out the far wing. Underneath it, O'Neill up the right side. As he approaches midfield and into Rhino territory. Pass into the middle, skipping through. Comes off on the near wing, and now it's cleared down inside the 18, and grabbing it on the short hop is Zagar. So the Rhino keeper has the ball. No score from Syracuse. 34.5 minutes to go in the first half of play. Zagar looks it over. Now he'll flight a ball through midfield, off on the near wing, headed in the air by Hall, and went the wrong way. Schweitzer knocks it toward midfield. Checking back to help out. Hall dropping it off as it is played by Steele and then cleared out through midfield into Rhino territory. At the midfield line, knocked down, and a foul is called on right of the Rhinos. Tangled up with Mayer, so the foul is called. And a free kick for the Rhinos, or for the Salty Dogs, right along the midfield line. Good service by Hall at the left wing side. To the end line, Mayer looking for the cross in front. However, it's offside against the Dogs. So that's the first offside against Syracuse. Restart for the Rhinos from their own 20. Zagar to take the kick. As he looks the players away. Waits for him to move downfield, and now will take the right-footed kick. Sends it through midfield. Click on attempt by Allnut. And he's up the back of the Syracuse defender, and so the foul is called. Restart for the Rhinos. Or for the Dogs, rather, is watching Schweitzer arguing with the referee. The way things are going, I don't know if Schweitzer should be arguing with the officials or not. Well, it's not going to stop him, of course. He'll be suspended for 3 games pending appeal. That'll start next week. Obviously, the league giving Syracuse some favors. Ball is dropped back and now pushed forward, but Delgado in the way. We'll tip it out to midfield. Miller checking back, couldn't get to it. That's played down to the Rhino 20, headed away by Cemento. It looks like a volleyball game right now as the ball in the air, played over the far away. Lyson to the outside for O'Neill. Return pass, and moving up the right wing is Rivas trying to get to it. On him is Allnut. Ball dropped back out top. Now a shot down to the 18, but that one blocked away, headed out toward midfield by Wright. Again, the Dogs on the attack. Up the other wing this time. Mendez gets to it to knock it away, and Aguilar drops it back to Mendez. Return pass to Aguilar, and a pass out to near midfield for Neto. Toward the center circle as his arm grabbed by Schweitzer, can't get away, and Neto will drop it off for Wright down to this 20. Through the middle, rolls it ahead. Delgado to the outside on the near wing for Mendez, back in the middle. Delgado on the attack, draws it forward to midfield. Chips it up the left wing side, but the ball is picked out of midair, knocked away, and then hammered downfield, deep in the corner on the near side. There is Wright rolling into the end line. That's a roll out over the end line, and a goal kick for the Rhinos. 31.5 minutes to go in the first half, and no score. Other sponsors of these broadcasts: Bill Gray's with 13 locations in Rochester. Hollywood Tans, the official tanning provider of the Rhinestones. Hero East Athletic Club, on the web at heroeast.com. And Total Wireless Now, communication without limitations. Here's the goal kick from Zagar. Through midfield. Ball knocked down and carried away. As Steele chips it up the left wing side, nobody there, and the ball is out of bounds. So a throw in for the Rhinos from around their own 10 on the near side of the field. Throw in. Aguilar dropping it back. Mendez. Steele puts pressure, knocks the ball down, and then Aguilar comes back and knocks it away into the stands. That rather was Mayer providing that pressure. Anthony Mayer, team's leading goal scorer so far with 5. So a throw-in. This time Steele will take the throw-in for the Salty Dogs inside the near end of the box, and Mayer with a cross but puts it out over the end line. And a goal kick for the Rhinos. Neil Zagar. He'll set the ball at the 6. Get ready for the goal kick.
We got a message for you.
Rhinos returning home Wednesday night for U.S. Open Cup play. Taking on the Charleston Battery at Frontier Field. That's Wednesday night, 8 o'clock kickoff time. On the goal kick, hit it right back down to the 18, and several bounces. Zagar finally picks it up. As ahead, turned back after it's Tomato along his 18. Takes a look downfield, still has it moving side to side now with the right foot. Clears it out through midfield. Miller up but couldn't get to it for the flick on, and the ball knocked loose in the center circle. Lyson spins to get away. Turns, drops it off in the circle. As the ball dropped back and crossed to the outside of the right wing. O'Neal up the right wing as he's being watched there by Allnut. To the outside again along the far wing. Edge toward the middle. O'Neal takes it. Pass off in the middle. Long up the left wing side. Trying to get under it. Steele looking to cross it inside the box as he and Mendez go at it. And back to help out is Aguilera. As he's bumped, grabbed onto by Steele. The foul is called on Steele. So the Rhinos will have the free kick from around their own 15 on the near side of the field. Aguilera rolls the ball ahead a good 10-15 yards and just lets it roll as the ref says, no, you can't do that. So Mendez, and he's going to leave it there for the keeper. Coach Calloway up for the Salty Dogs saying, wait a minute, they just gained 20 yards on that restart. Outfield, and as Neto and Allnut sandwich Schweitzer, knock him down. The foul is called. In the restart, the ball pushed across midfield into Rhino territory. Millwood escapes, passes up the left wing side. Mendez on a challenge, slides in on goal and kicks it away out bounds in the corner. And nice job of saving the corner kick. As Mendez puts it away about 5 yards out, so a throw in on the near side of the field for the Salty Dogs.
Come on.
28 and a half minutes to go. First half, no score. Looking for a long throw-in. High Looper coming down to the near end of the 18, and Zagar at the near end of the 6 actually coming down with the ball. Picks it out of midair, throws it up the right side to Trout, drops it back. Mendez. He'll right-footed along the near wing, deep to the corner, but nobody there. Ball bouncing to the end line, and the keeper, Foss, will knock it down. Keeps the ball in play, brings it away, dribbles out to his 18. Takes a look downfield. Foss, a big guy at 6'5", 195 pounds, 24 years of age, played for the Colorado Rapids of the MLS. Long downfield into Rhino territory, off in the left wing corner again. Mendez blocking Steele away, and it's out of bounds. So now a goal kick for the Rhinos. So far in this one, not a whole lot of opportunities for either squad. It's just been end to end. Neither team able to get many shots away, if any, at this point. And I have one shot for the Rhinos.
That's Bennigan's August 8th at 6 o'clock.
Here's Zagar. Low line drive kick out through midfield. Flick on by Allnut, but that's knocked away on the far side and out off of O'Neal. Now the linesman says it's off of Allnut, so a throw in on the far side of the field for the Salty Dogs near midfield. There's the throw in, but Wright steps in. However, he stepped on the ball and sort of stumbled away, and the ball is picked off. And Mendez up the right side to Trout. Being chased from behind by Steele. Pulls it out across midfield. Spins, trying to get loose. Grabbed onto. And the ball knocked away by Hall and out of bounds. Throw in on the near side of the field for the Rhinos, just to their own side of midfield.
It's time for
Calloway yelling at the referee once again. And the ref, Kenneth Heller, wanted to come over and talk to Lori Calloway, who's pointing about something across the field. The ref is Ken Heller, and the linesman Jeff Gunterek and Thomas Mingle, and the fourth official Stephen Adamek. So they have their conversation. The ref turns and walks away, and it'll be a throw in for the Rhinos. Mendez short to Aguilera. Volleys it ahead through the center circle. Moving up the left wing side. Wilson won't get to it in time as Lyson knocks it ahead for O'Neal. Drops it right back, and Lyson into the center circle for Rene Rivas. Stepping in to knock it away from him is Aguilera, who comes away with the ball. In the circle, pass over the left wing side, and Miller's in behind and offside. offside against the Rhinos. I know back when I was talking about the players that have played one way or the other, T-Max Suarez have been out injured the last couple of games, and he was warming up prior to the game. He looked pretty good, but not ready to go evidently yet. So Suarez hasn't played the last several games. Restart from 35 yards out. Foss delivers all the way down inside the 18. A big bounce of the end line. Mendez blocks steal away and rolls out over the end line. So once again we go keeper to keeper. 25 minutes to go. First half, no score.
The first 2,000 fans will receive soccer beads. Call the Salty Dogs.
Zagar placing the ball at the 6.
Monday, August 9th, the Dogs versus the Battery.
Looks downfield. And with the right foot, sends the line drive kick through midfield. Actually, a floater coming down to the center circle, and it's a flick on by Allnut down inside the 18. Out to grab it, and one bounces Foss. Throws it off in the far wing. Once again, coming away is Lyson. Lars Lyson, the 24-year-old from Redwood City, California. Moves it ahead near midfield, pushing it to the outside. O'Neill checking back for the ball as he's watched by Wilson, who blocks it away, and the ball rolling and rolling, but out of bounds. Throw in this time for the Salty Dogs from their own 30 on the far side of the field. And looks like Lyson will move over for the throw-in. Set and the throw-in across midfield. Headed away by Wright. Out of bounds again. This time the throw-in for the Dogs near midfield on the far side. Lyson looking for a ball. Finally gets it from the ball boys. And here's the throw-in once again. Quick toward the middle. It's knocked away by Mayer and pops up in the air as a foul is called on Allnut. So free kick for the Salty Dogs from 30 yards out, a little bit to the right of center. Ball placed in the restart by Anthony Mayer. Trying to push Delgado away. Quick restart off on the right side. Delivers to the corner and across along the 6. In is headed away and out of the box. Comes out the near wing. Moving in on the ball is Hall. He'll chip it over the far side. Delgado can't get to it. Locked away on the right wing side and rolled Lyson to the corner. O'Neill near the end line. Looking for the cross as Wilson steps in. Knocks the ball away. Foul is called. And that on O'Neill. So a restart for the Rhinos from deep in their own end of the field. Off in the far corner. 23 minutes to go. First half, no score. Zagar ends up with 2 balls, so now tosses 1 out, and he'll get ready for the kick on the restart. In the Rhinos, Frontier Field Wednesday night. Quarterfinals of U.S. Open Cup play against the Charleston Battery. Make sure you're there for that one. What a big game that is. As if they all aren't big anymore. That got near midfield. Foul is called on Samedo, so a restart for the Salty Dogs from the Rochester 35. Cross off of the near wing. Moving in on the ball is Hall. Ryan Hall, 22-year-old from Great Falls, Virginia. And at midfield, lost in the center circle, but taken back again by the Salty Dogs. Up the right wing for O'Neill. As he's chased, but pass along the front. Back heel pass, and that's picked off by the Rhinos. Played upfield. However, Delgado can't get to it. That's taken away by the Salty Dogs. Pass in the middle. Dropped off by O'Neill and turned to the outside of the right wing. Lyson looking for the chip along the 18. Delivers in front. That's dropped back on top. Left foot crack of the ball and way wide left. Bending out, and again, the Dogs take a shot and don't hit the end line. Bends out over the touchline, so a throw in deep in the corner. Actually, a foul was called anyway first, so it'll be a restart for the Rhinos. Free kick from their own 15. To be taken by Zagar. Players move out across midfield, trying to get a few shadows on the field now. As that one flighted over top of Trout, comes on the near wing. Neto after it, won't get to it. That's out of bounds, they say, off of Neto. So a throw in for the Salty Dogs on the near side of the field from their own 15. Be taken by Hall to throw in along the near line, or getting a spin around is Carbayal as he tries to get away from Trout. The ball is knocked loose, and Mendez in turn tips it away. Aguilar volleys it out to midfield, but it's recovered by the Salty Dogs. Then blocked away and carried off by Wilson up the left wing side. Stops as he watched by O'Neill, gives it to Delgado. He'll chip it ahead down inside the 18, and just barely. But no, offside flag on the near side is in the air against the Rhinos. Third offside against the Rhinos on the night. On the restart, Brought away by the Dogs through midfield on the right side. O'Neill turns to the outside, trying to pass on the return, but can't get it through to Lyson as the ball rolls to the end line, out over the end line, and a goal kick for the Rhinos. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include Chase Pitkin with a lifetime tool warranty for all tools purchased at Chase Pitkin. Kimberly Clark, a proud sponsor of the Rhinos. Myers RV in Churchville, just off I-490. And by Best Volvo at 1500 University Avenue. Zagar set for the goal kick. Lights it through midfield. That's headed back into Rhino territory. Knotted aside by Aguilar. Now through the center circle. It's Neto on the attack. Turns it up the left wing and in behind. Allnut, Trout, and Miller. All three in behind. Take your pick on which one was offside.
Center New York's newest premier soccer club is the CNY United Football Club is holding trials.
That's 4 offsides for the Rhinos.
14 at the CNY Family Sports Center on Jones Road.
So the free kick for the Salty Dogs, 35 yards out, to be taken by the keeper, Foss, who has played the last 6 straight, in which the Salty Dogs have been victorious in all 6. Long ball flighted downfield, headed away by Wilson. Coming down again at the 18 as they turn toward the middle. Knocked loose in front and right gets to it. And with the left foot will jam it away out across midfield. Miller after the ball as he turns trying to get away. Drops it to Ward along the midfield line in the middle for Neto. As he'll drop it off in a circle. And Pato up the left wing. Miller trying to win the race for the ball. Near the end line. Being pushed to the end line. Looking for the cross. That was knocked down by Lyson. The whistle blows. What's the call? Well, the ref said the ball, he's pointing at a goal kick, but the ball never made it to the end line. He was looking at the white line, which is the baseball first base line, and he made the call, and the ball's along about 2 yards from going over the end line. Oh, well. Ball flighted through midfield. And played into the middle, turned to the outside again on the right wing, chipped toward the middle as Mayer knocks it down, then knocked off his foot, but coming out top. Cleared off on the left wing side to the near end of the box. Steele moving in as he gets tied up. That one chipped up in the air. Side volley kick. Over top of the net by Rivas. Close. Rivas with the left foot about 2 feet over top of the crossbar. So the Rhinos dodge a bullet there. 18 minutes to go in the first half and no score. Trying to pick up if that was Rivas or was that Carabayel. I think it might have been Carabayel to take that shot. Downfield foul is called on the Salty Dogs. Again, my apologies, but you cannot read these numbers on the jerseys. Which is which, and our vantage point, we're deep in a corner, a long way from the other end of the field, so it's just about impossible to figure out which players are which, especially when you're looking at their back and can't read the numbers. Free kick for the Rhinos, 40 yards out to the right of center. Pato chips it, about a mile high. Not sure if he was going for the field goal or what, but way high. And he turns and walks away, scratching his scalp, trying to figure out himself what he did.
You're looking at 1.5 hour class personal training. Congratulations.
So a goal kick for the Salty Dogs. Foss places the ball to the 6, now drives it out through midfield. John Wilson underneath it, heads it forward to midfield as the ball is knocked down, then turned to the outside. Lyson on the right wing, skips away from him, and out of bounds. Throw into midfield for the Rhinos to be taken by Delgado. Going long up the left wing side. Miller flicks it toward the 18. That's knocked away. Stepping in again, Delgado settles the ball. Dumps it in the middle. Pato returns the pass to Delgado as he's sent flying, and a foul is called. But which one is the foul? Is it where Rivas knocked down Pato, or is it where Delgado was taken down? Pato's the one slow getting up. So I'm not sure. Maybe the foul was on Rivas. As Pato gets up slowly, grabbing onto his left leg. That's where the location is for the free kick. 35 yards out, left of center. Semedo, left-footed kicker. Looks like he might take the kick. 3-man wall for the Dogs. Placed 20 yards out. As they move along the 18, Tomato steps over, and now it's chipped to the back post side as Wright gets tangled up and taken down, and with Rivas, and the ball skips through and out over the end line. Goal kick, so Wright never got to it. As the ball will be placed on the 6 for the keeper, Foss. 15 and a half minutes to go. First half, no score. Foss with the right foot. Sends it through midfield, coming down to the Rhino 40. Wright stepping up, heads it toward the center circle. That's played by Pato to the outside along the near wing. Trout after it. Rolls it along the near touchline, and finally it's out of bounds down around the 15. So a throw in deep in the near corner for the Salty Dogs. Hall gains a good 10 yards on the throw-in. But he gives it to the Rhinos as it's headed forward. Neto drops it back. Allnut playing it back to the center circle for Wilson. Chips it ahead. Allnut flick on. Down inside the 18. One big hop, and Foss is there. The keeper for the Dogs has the ball. No score from Syracuse. Under 15 minutes to go in the first half. Pending, of course, stoppage time. Pushed forward outside the area by Foss, and now chips it ahead all the way down to the Rhino 20. Flick in the middle, but headed away by Wilson. Gets to it again, heads it forward outside the 18. Another volley down inside, and Mayer's in behind and offside. So another offside against the Salty Dogs. Rhinos have been offsides 4 times. The Dogs twice so far in this one. As the ball will be placed, and the Rhino keeper, Theo Zagar, will take the kick. Salty Dogs, next game isn't until next Friday when they come to Rochester at Frontier Field, so a light schedule for the Dogs. There's a flick on by Allnut, 2 bounces down inside the 18 and grabbed by Foss. Rochester has the Open Cup game in the middle on Wednesday night, meeting the Charleston Battery at Frontier Field, but the Dogs will have a nice long week's rest. Ball in Rhino territory, popped up in the air deep in the corner and into the stands, and out of play off of Dave Wright. So a throw in for the Salty Dogs from the Rhino 18. Now down to the 15 on the near side. Steele to take the throw in. Goes short on the throw in. Is pushed back to the outside by Carabayel. Gets tied up along the end line. Taken away by Trout. Rolls it ahead of the near side. And unable to get away is Neto. Chipped down deep to the corner by Schweitzer again, the left wing side. Steele looking for a cross, rolling down inside the 18, but Wright chips it off of the near wing. Near the touchline, Trout after it, grabbed onto by Steele, and a foul is called. Steele again, the 18-year-old just added to the roster by Syracuse. Jonathan Steele, 18-year-olds from Larne, Northern Ireland. Ball placed. Rhino keeper Theo Zagar way out to around the 30-35 to take this kick. With the right foot, drives it all the way down to the 20, headed back toward the center circle. After it, Aguilera up in the air. That went out into the midfield line. Volleyed again ahead by Rivas, but that's played aside by Wilson, and then the Rhinos take it. Aguilera chips it up the left wing. Miller tries to hit it back in the middle, but the ball is volleyed in the air coming down the midfield line. Wright steps forward, volleys it ahead. That's headed back into the center circle. A lot of head balls right now as the ball pushed to the outside of the far wing. Rivas plays it toward the middle for Lysand as he's chased there. He'll cross it, switch the field to the near side. After it, Hall being watched by Trout. Pass ahead as Carabayel taken down and the ball on the near wing. That's pass on the left wing side. Getting to it is Wright. Jams up with Steele. Off the foot of Steele and out of bounds. 11 and a half minutes to go in the first half, and no score here in Syracuse. To the Rhinos with a throw-in. Mendez to Wright. Throws it ahead for Pato. To the outside, Mendez. Touching it up the near wing, but stepping in is Hall for the Salty Dogs. Pass ahead. Carabayel gets tied up, and it's rolled to the outside again. On the near wing. Pass on the left wing side. Steele looking for the cross. Handed away outside the area, and brought away by Delgado. Moves it upfield, and on the right wing looks to the outside. He'll send the ball through for Neto. Oh, he's in behind in an offside flag. Neto turning around, having a good look at the linesman, figuring that he was onside. However, the call is made. And he'll talk to the linesman about that one. On the restart, Syracuse brings the ball through in the attack and into Rhino territory. Switch to the outside of the right wing, and Lyson rolls it ahead for O'Neal. Off the right wing as he gets tied up and knocked down. The foul is called. The ball is out of bounds, and that off of the Rhinos. Was it a foul or just a throw-in? Evidently, yes, the foul was called. So a restart for the Salty Dogs. 30 yards out, quick restart. Ball pushed in the middle. Rivas back to the outside of the right wing. Lyson chasing the ball to the end line. Tied up with Wilson. The ball rolls away. Out over the end line, and a goal kick for the Rhinos. Other sponsors of these broadcasts: Blueberry Hill, upscale apartment living, a Faber community. Marina Dodge at 943 Ridge Road in Webster. And by Dunkin' Donuts, located throughout the Rochester area. Goal kick for Theo Zagar. 10 minutes to go here in the first half, and no score from Syracuse. Kick downfield by Zagar. Up for the flick on Pato, but it's a foul is called on the Rhinos as Rivas was knocked down, and so a restart for the Salty Dogs. Schweitzer rolls it ahead. Across the midfield line to O'Neal. Knocks it to the outside. Lyson return pass on the right wing for O'Neal. He's watched by John Wilson. Pass toward the middle, and that one sneaking in behind. Take it away, and all that has it for the Rhinos. Edo dummies the ball, but the Salty Dogs on the other side. However, they lost to the Rhinos. Take it again. Miller in behind. Another offside flag. Another offside against Miller. That's 6 offsides this half against the Rhinos. So, restart for Syracuse. All the way out to about the 40, and Foss comes out to take that kick also. 9 minutes to go, first half, no score. Foss with the right foot. Sends it down to the 18. Headed away by Salento all the way out to the center circle. Blocked and carried forward now by the Dogs. Laid to the outside of the near wing. Hall running onto the ball. Drops it off toward the middle. Stepping in to knock it away is all that a hit for Miller. Up the near wing in a collision. Syracuse player still down in the field. Carried away by Pato. He'll cross it to the left wing side. Delgado in a race with O'Neal, and the ball pops up in the air out over the touchline and out of play. Whistle to stop play. And still the Syracuse player is down on the field. Trainer being called out to attend to the Syracuse player. 8:20 to go in the first half, no score. That's 8 minutes and 20 seconds showing on the clock, and of course stoppage time from there. So not sure who the player is down at this point, as he was in a collision with Allnut going for the ball. Trying to see who it is. But that's an impossibility. Rhinos Wednesday night, Frontier Field, hosting the Charleston Battery. Quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup. 4 A-League teams and 4 MLS teams remaining. That certainly is by far the most A-League teams that have made it this far in one time. 4 A-League teams still in the mix. Well, the Syracuse player is up and walking to the sidelines under his own power. Has a few words for Allnut. He's holding up around his jaw area. And he is wanting to get back on. Sure, maybe that's Hall. Well, anyway, throw in on the far side of the field by the Salty Dogs. As the player coming back onto the pitch. Still can't see who that is. I can't read the number. There's a foul that's called, and the foul is on the Rhinos, so a free kick for the Salty Dogs, the far end of the 18. The right wing side, the right wing end of the 18-yard box, almost at the very corner. Here's the service down in front. The shot grabbed by Zagar, and what's the call? Whistle blew. Zagar made the save, but the ref comes over and says, you weren't ready to start, or we got too quick of a start, so he's going to let him do it all over again. All right. Here comes the save service down to the outside of the end line. Crossed along in front. Hit ball is through the near end of the box and off on the near side. Chased down, kept in play by the Dogs. Dropped back out. On the near wing, Schweitzer plays it ahead. Turning in behind Steele. Looking for a cross down in front. A hop in onto the 6th and grabbed by Zagar. 6 minutes left on the clock for the first half of play. No score. Zagar rolls it off the near side. Off on the right wing, tried to sneak it through. Finally, it is deflected through to Trout. Pass toward the middle for Neto, but deflected away. And then rolls to Mendez. The Rhinos have it back. Neto touching it off, and Pato brings it forward. Long chip to the left wing side, but stepping in is Lysen to block it away. They'll clear it in the air down into Rhino territory. Right is back. In under the ball, heads into the keeper, and Zagar has it on one hop. 5:25. There's 5.5 minutes to go in the first half of play. That's according to the clock. Not counting stoppage time, of course. Zagar rolls it ahead outside the 18. No pressure applied, so takes his time. Now with the right foot. Drives it out through the center circle. Allman with a flick on. Down inside. Oh, 8 yards out to grab it on the fly. Picking it off his toe tops is the keeper. Foss, as Miller was right on the doorstep. Foss rolls it off on the far side to Lysen. On the touchline and across midfield into Rhino territory. Looking for the return pass, but blocked away by the Rhinos. And Wright sends it out through midfield. Off of the near wing. Back for Schweitzer from his own 40. Rolls it into the center circle. O'Neill checking back to the outside of the right wing. As the ball then is pushed forward and out to midfield. Drop back once again as the Salty Dogs will switch sides and play it off on the near wing. Moving in is Hall, but Allnut knocks it away. And then it's into Salty Dogs territory. That's to my right again here in the first half. Pass to the outside of the far wing. O'Neill on the right wing side sneaks to get in behind. There he turns along and rolls it toward the 18, the far end of the box. On a return pass to O'Neill, moving to his left, trying to sneak it through. Ball knocked loose. Where's the ball? Where's the ball? It is in the net, off the right post into the net. And the Rhinos coming out, looking for the call. Where's the offside? The Rhinos are looking for the offside flag, but don't get it. Ball was in behind. Somebody was there to touch it inside the right post. It stuck through and in behind, along with the Syracuse player that was in behind. And the Dogs have scored. Syracuse goal in the 42nd minute. And we'll have to get the announcement on who gets credit for the goal. It was O'Neill the one to deliver it along in front. So O'Neill gets the assist. Trying to pick up the number again. I couldn't understand. I think it was 17. Carabayal. It might have been Carabayal that got the goal.
Every time the Dogs score a goal, he teaches courtesy Napa.
All right, so it is 1-0 in favor of the Salty Dogs as play picks up again. Here in Syracuse. Push to the outside along the near wing. Stubbing in, Delgado knocks it away to the midfield line. Neto drops it back, and Delgado able to push it forward again. In the center circle, coming up with the ball, cross to the outside of the right wing, and Trout ahead. Offside flag in the air once again. Another offside against the Rhinos. That's 7 here in the first half of play. Well, Rhinos just can't get it behind, but certainly Syracuse, well, it's okay at that end of the field, I guess. Well, you know what? I was looking, and I looked in behind. I saw a player in behind standing all by himself. As O'Neill was dribbling along about 10 yards out, he was dribbling from right to left. And the one player was in behind, and there never was an offside flag. Man, headed away up the near side, but a foul is called on the Salty Dogs. So Syracuse scoring first, and we'll call it Carabayal getting the goal, which would be his second since joining the team. Rhinos on the attack. Neto in the middle, spinning around at midfield. Drops it off in the middle. Delgado drawing it forward. to the 30. Turns it to the outside of the left flank for John Wilson. Now cross down in front, moving it all that. Punched away by Foss. Diving for the ball. Punches it all the way out to near midfield. All that was right there. Brought for by Trout. Tips it toward the middle again. Otto on the attack. Down to the 35 in the middle. Stops to get away. Still has it. Chips off the right side. Miller on his horse. Down inside the 18. Trying to get loose. Blocked to the end line. The ball rolls out over the end line and a goal kick. So Miller unable to get through.
1 minute left in half.
On the clock, a minute remaining on the clock. We'll see what they have for stoppage time. As the ball placed at the 6. As the keeper, Foss, will take the kick. Who at the right foot. High floater through midfield, coming down to the Rhinos, 35. Flick on down inside the 18. A race for the ball, and it's picked up on the hop by Zagar. Throws it off on the near side, and Delgado draws it forward out to near midfield. Pass in the middle for Pato Aguilera. As he'll drop it back in the middle, and Semedo, one chip ahead for Allnut. Drops it off. Pato again, return pass in the center circle for Allnut. Spins away on the near wing to Neto. Sneaks the ball through. Here's Allnut. Down to the 18, moving in, triple team. Taken down, no call. There's the shot. They score! It bounced loose to Doug Miller. To the right side. Miller with the left foot chips it in under the crossbar as the Rhinos come back and even it up. Allnut taken down in a triple team, and the ball squirts loose to Miller, who puts it away. Rochester scoring in the 45th minute, 2 minutes of stoppage time indicated. As Miller records his 4th of the season.
Doug Miller.
And Allnut should get an assist. I don't know if they'll give it to him or not. I'm putting it down. So Miller scoring his 4th, and the Rhinos have evened it up. On for Pato, turns it to the outside on the left wing. John Wilson out of midfield, sends it across midfield for Delgado. Spinning around, trying to get away. Delgado through the center circle, sneaks by one and another. Here's Neto with a back heel pass to Delgado. Turns back in the center circle. Switching to the outside of the right wing for Mendez. Along the near wing, Trout on the attack. Pulling it down to the 10. Cross in front, dribbles off a footer. Schweitzer loose and pops him in the air. Rivas heads it away. Moving in under the ball is Allnut. Sneaks it through to the left wing side. Wilson on the attack. Down to the 35, to the outside, trying to get loose. Spins around, still has the ball. Now crosses along the 18, but it's headed away by Hall. All the way out to midfield. Mayer heads into the midfield line, and the Rhinos settle the ball. Samano dropping it off his own side of midfield, where Wright moves up on the ball on the near side. Approaching midfield. We'll switch it off on the left wing side. Wilson moving in as his head ball in the middle is knocked away and downfield. Samano there to nod at his side. Off the left wing is Delgado. We're in stoppage time in the first half, and even at 1. Delgado rolls it toward the middle. Aguilera takes a look around and crossing to the near side. Mendez after it. Drops it back and right. First touch up the near wing. Deep to the corner. After it goes Trout. As he wins the race with Hall. Beats him to the ball. Knocks it loose. Neto moving out. Looks in, crossing the front, but moving up to pick it off and bring it away. As the ball is pushed to drop back for Schweitzer. In the middle, Schweitzer has it. Turns, looks around, and now the whistle blows. That's it for the first half of play. So the Dogs take the lead 1-0, and seemingly had things going their way, but the Rhinos come right back and answer with a goal of their own. At the half, during stoppage time, the Rhinos able to knot it up. So there's nothing mid-decided in this one as of yet here at Syracuse. It is the Rochester Raging Rhinos 1, Syracuse Salty Dogs 1. And this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network. Back once again at PNC Stadium in Syracuse as, it was a harmless first half until the last few minutes, and then it got kind of exciting as each team was able to put one away toward the end of the first half of play. All right, let's take a look now at the Marina Dodge first half statistics. And as I have it, the scoring in the game thus far, 42nd minute was the first goal of the game, and it was scored by Mauro Carabayal, a 26-year-old Argentinian, picking up his second of the season. Carabayal getting the goal, O'Neal assisting, and the Salty Dogs taking a 1-0 lead. Then the Rhinos answered in stoppage time. Scoring in the 45th minute was Doug Miller, recording his 4th goal of the season. Well, I had Yuri Allnut drawing an assist. However, they have not given him an assist on the official stat sheet, so I don't know if he'll get credit for one yet or not. But anyway, Miller with his 4th goal of the season in the 45th minute to even it up at 1 apiece. And then that's where the half came to an end. looking at the stat sheet to see that the Rhinos credited with 3 shots and the Salty Dogs with 2. So not a whole lot of shots in that first half. 3 shots for the Rhinos and 2 for the Salty Dogs. Corner kicks. Neither team had a corner kick. Offsides, the Rhinos 7 and the Salty Dogs 3. 7-3 the offsides. The fouls, 10 against the Rhinos and 6 against the Salty Dogs. Saves in the game. It was no saves credited to Zagar, but 2 saves credited to Byron Foss. So Foss gets credit for 2 saves in that first half of play. There's your stats of the Marina Dodge first half statistics here at PNC Stadium in Syracuse. So a lot to go, a lot to be decided yet in the second half of this one. And we'll be back to talk to one of the vacationing Raging Rhinos players tonight. He's sitting back enjoying this one from high atop PNC Stadium. We'll be talking to Billy Sedgwick in just a moment. Through one half of play, it's the Rhinos won, the Dogs won, and this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network.
There's always something happening at Soccer Sam's Pizza Pasta Cafe, Empire Boulevard in Webster. Wednesdays, come meet your favorite Rhinos player, signing autographs from 5 till 8. Plus, every table of 4 gets 1 free ticket to a future Rhinos game. Sundays, it's half-price pasta. Buy 1 and get the second dinner at half price. Mondays, kids 10 and under eat free. See restaurant for details. And don't forget Soccer Sam's for lunch with delicious pizza slices available from 11 until 3. Soccer Sam's Pizza Pasta Cafe, 2045 Empire Boulevard in Webster.
At PNC Stadium in Syracuse this evening as the Rhinos and the Salty Dogs meet for the 3rd time this year. And right now it's even at 1 apiece through one half of play. I'm Don Stevens alongside now as he is sitting out this one is Rhino defender Billy Sedgwick. And Billy is out for, points, right? Points accumulations.
Points, and I liked it when he said, I always come to vacation in Syracuse. It's a great place. It's so tropical. And yes, I'm out for cards, yes.
So you're sending this one out tonight also. You get to view the game on Wednesday night, unfortunately, also, huh?
Yes, that was disappointing. I mean, it was 2 yellows, but they had changed the rule, I think, this year to 3 cumulative yellows and you're out for a game. But I'm out, and there's nothing we can do. But we're playing well tonight with, we have 18 guys that come in and fill the spots. I mean, we're doing fine with the players we have.
All right, now I just want, maybe I'm going to get backed up on this thing or you'll disagree, but I've been sitting here crying the blues tonight because I can't see the numbers on those jerseys. Are you going to back me up? Can you see the numbers on their jerseys out there?
Syracuse, I don't even think they have numbers. It's very hard to see. It's almost like a glare. And then you have we're up here pretty high too. So, no, there's just color of skin.
Yeah. Well, and then it's a long ways away. We're kind of at the end of the field, so it's impossible. But now I want to ask you about that goal that was scored. I thought there was a guy in there that was offside.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, the ball was ended up being tipped by the forward, and I don't think it was a very slight redirection by the player. I don't think the linesman saw it. And again, you have, we could cry wolf all you want about the linesman, but they have to do the simple things right, and that's their job, to do the offsides. Nothing else. If anything, get that right. And it was a squibbler going in the net, but you got to watch those things as a linesman.
Well, it looked to me like everybody was kind of mesmerized watching O'Neill dribble along about 15 yards out. He was going from right to left, and then all of a sudden behind it. But I could see from our vantage point, I could see a Syracuse uniform in behind. I was wondering, what's this guy doing there?
I think he was inside the 6, and
he was.
You can see it very clearly from up here, like you said. You're concentrating on O'Neill, and maybe our players were, this guy's in back of me. I'm not going to take into account because he's offside to the ball's played. So, again, it's unfortunate, and we've had some pretty close offsides too that have been, it's always tight, and you're always trying to toe the line. So, it's a judgment call.
Is it different when you're watching the game from up a little higher than you're watching from, say, on the bench?
Yeah, it's great. I don't get to see it up this high, and to see the actual, the formation of the play or the direction of the play is nice, and even to see the offsides. I mean, as a player, I go crazy with our forwards being offsides, but there are some legitimate calls where Dougie toes the line and he is onside when the ball's played. It's a matter of that referee listening for the ball rather than looking for the ball. You watch the line.
I don't know how coaches especially can see what goes on in the field from being down on field level. Maybe it's because I spent all these years way up on top watching everything, but I think it's almost to be if I had a team, I think I'd require every player to spend a few games up above watching the play, because you can see it develop so much better from up higher.
I think it's great, and you're on a good-sized field here, so you can see, everything getting sorted out. We're in a smaller venue at Frontier Field, but to actually see the actual strategy of the game and the player rotation, it's educating yourself. So,
talking with Rhino defender Billy Sedgwick, who is out on suspension due to accumulation of points tonight, and we shall continue our conversation here in a moment from PNC Stadium in Syracuse. All even at 1 at the half between the Rhinos and the Salty Dogs, and this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network. Here at PNC Stadium in Syracuse, as the Rhinos and Salty Dogs are all even up at 1 apiece. We're talking with Rhino defender Billy Sedgwick, who's watching this one from the press box here today. What do you think? What do the Rhinos need to do here in this one?
I think it's been fairly even. Look at the first half. We've had our fair share of offensive push, and a couple unfortunate offsides that could have sprung some of our forwards through, but I think we're playing very well defensively, too. They're a big team. And to challenge them in the air, you got Dave and Zamedo on back, and John Wilson adding a bit of a spark and some freshness coming out of the back. So I think just keep playing the same way, and I don't know, maybe you put someone in the midfield if someone's getting tired, because that's a lot of running on a big field like this for a midfielder like Pato or Neto, or Yari's always going to work, so you know that.
All right, I was going to say, good luck come Wednesday night when you're back in the lineup, but unfortunately it won't be till next Friday against Syracuse that you're back, all right?
Yes, I got to look at it as maybe just a break in the season from playing so many games, so maybe I'll just look at it as...
Well, get well rested, all right?
Oh, I'm well, but I need to get rested, that's true.
All right. Thank you for coming over. Appreciate it, Billy.
Thanks, Don.
Billy Sedgwick, Rhino defender, who's out for this one tonight, and also on Wednesday against Charleston in the Open Cup game, but he'll be back next Friday at Frontier Field against the same Syracuse Crunch, or Salty Dogs. We're ready to get underway in the second half here in Syracuse. It's even at 1 through 1 half, and this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network.
Give me five from Salvatore's. Give me five, oh wow, sure sounds good to me. Give me five and how? Home menu delivery. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5. That's the way we call. Give me five, it's so good. And Salvatore's has got it all. Give me five, yeah, give me five from Salvatore's.
What's on your pizza tonight? Call Salvatore's 234-5555 and order yours. Or try one of their pasta or seafood dinners, burgers, or subs with their full menu delivery. Salvatore's 234-5555.
Salvatore's will fill your plate. Yeah! It's so good. Give me five. Put a smile right on your face. Give me five. Yeah, give me five. From Salvatore.
Here we go now in the second half from Syracuse, as the Rhinos now attack the net to our left, and it is Theo Zagar in goal to our right. He's looking into the sun. I see him now shading his eyes as the sun's shining in his eyes. Ball is knocked out of bounds on the near side, and a throw in for the Rhinos. There's a throw in up the near side, tipped toward the end line as it rolls out over the end line, and it'll be a goal kick for the Salty Dogs. Just getting going again in the second half of play. A score elsewhere as Andrew Battisti passing along the score to his half. Richmond has a 2-0 lead over Atlanta. That's in the half in that other very important game. It's going on in the A-League tonight. All right, the goal kick to midfield and back for it. John Wilson flicks it down inside of his 18 and picked up on the second hop by Zagar as he'll move the players away. Rhino keeper with the ball. Again, he's still shading his eyes. And now decides to just roll it ahead outside the 18. Not pressured, so continues to roll it ahead. Now backs up. Takes a look downfield, and with the right foot, will drive it through midfield. Flick on attempt as the ball is knocked away into the center circle. Up with it, Aguilera. He'll cross to the outside of the right wing, and under the ball is Ryan Trout. Drops it back near midfield. Mendez stepping up. Boots it down to the 18, but then it's volleyed in the air and all the way up to midfield. Mayer can't get loose, and on the near wing, knocked away by Wilson to right. His pass is deflected aside out of midfield, and stepping up, the ball is carried away by the Salty Dogs. Mayer has pushed off the ball. The Rhinos have it, and Tomato will first time it across midfield. Miller chests it to the outside, and Trout moving up the right wing. As he approaches the 35, pass in the middle, and Aguilera spinning around. Has it in midfield, drops it back toward the center circle for Allnut. On the attack, here's Allnut, turns to his right, gets loose, pass to the outside for Trout. Down to the 15, cross in front, is blocked away off the leg and out over the end line, so it'll be a corner kick for the Rhinos. And this will be the first corner of the match for either team.
Substitution at the head for Syracuse. Into the match, number 9.
Corner kick.
Matthew Barnes-Homer, replacing number 2, Tim O'Neill.
O'Neill is out. And Barnes is in for the Salty Dogs in the start of the second half. All right, Barnes is in. O'Neill is out. And now the ball from the corner kick in on goal and taken by Foss, and he'll throw it away on the near side as the ball played back to Zagar, and he'll volley it out on the left wing side through midfield and out. Throwing on the near side near midfield for the Salty Dogs. Throwing to be taken. No, Rivas will leave it there. And on the near wing. Throwing up the near side. Tomato knocks it back toward midfield, but it's chipped away. Pass it. Carbajal drops it back at midfield. Rivas dropping it back. He's zone side of midfield, and the ball played back to the keeper. Foss has it at his 18. Miller's there, but Foss with the right foot drives it out through midfield. Tomato pops it up in the air. Wilson in underneath it, but Tomato gets to it. Volleys it ahead to the center circle. Then the ball popped up in the air again. Coming back into the near corner. Off the foot of Wilson, but out over the end line. And this creates a corner kick. Off the left wing side to be taken by the Salty Dogs. Corner kick for Syracuse. Taking the corner kick is in Wone. Wone will take the corner with the left foot. Delivers down in the box, and out to grab it off his 6 is Zagar. Makes it look easy and throws it ahead for Neto. Getting underneath the ball. Neto slows it down, turns back, drops it toward the center circle for Allnut. Carries it ahead, turns it to the outside of the right wing. Moving up is Trout. Rolls it along the far wing. A return pass to Miller, but Trout can't get to it. That's taken away again by the Salty Dogs. Pushed to the outside. Spinning around, trying to get away. Barnes on the left wing side. His pass ahead of midfield, but that's knocked away by Wright and across midfield. Turn to the outside, up the right wing. On the run, Miller toward the end line, trying to get through at the 18. He runs into the defender and is blocked away from the ball. The ball rolls out over the end line. Goal kick for the Salty Dogs. 40.5 minutes to go here in the second half of play, even at 1. Foss placing the ball, waiting for the players to move away. Even up at 1 apiece. These two teams meet next Friday in Rochester for the final meeting of the regular season. Long downfield, headed for by Tomato toward the center circle, pushed to the outside of the near wing. And up with it is Barnes along the near wing, down to the right wing corner, as he's watched by Delgado. Deep in the corner on the near side, turning around, trying to get loose, keeping it in at the touchline on the near side. Double teamed, and now Delgado, as he's grabbed onto it, the ball pulled away, rolling off the end line, and then off the foot of Wilson out over the end line. Rivas is taken down, and the Rhinos a little upset that no foul was called. Another corner for the Dogs. Wone to take the corner kick. This again off the right wing side. Left-footed kicker and in-swinging kick. Here's the service high for the back post. As that's flicked away out the far end of the box and over the end line. Goal kick for the Rhinos. Sponsors of these broadcasts include Auto Depot USA, online at AutoDepotDirect.com. Clarion Riverside Hotel with 400 rooms, banquet space, and Bennigan's Grill and Tavern. By Gallo and Iacovangelo, a full-service law firm. Also by the World Gym, official strength training facility of the Rochester Sports Group. Zagar fights it through midfield. Flicked in the air, coming back on the near side of midfield was Wilson underneath it in a collision, and it's knocked away and out of bounds. Barnes with the throw in. That's chested aside by Wright, and the Rhinos have it. John Wilson pass through the midfield, and it's knocked loose and into Syracuse territory. Taken again by the Dogs. Long up the right wing side, deep to the near corner. Semedo blocking as Semedo is pulled down, and the foul is called on Mayer. And the Rhinos talking to the linesman on the near side of the field, saying, man, oh man, the last guy back is pulled down, spun around, grabbed onto the arm. Why isn't there a caution on that one? Rhinos not getting a whole lot of calls going their way. All right, Zagar will take the kick 15 yards out of the near corner with the right foot. Volleys it in the air through midfield. Flicked on by Allnut as the ball popped up in the air, coming back at midfield, and finally Aguilar to settle in the center circle. Will switch to the outside of the right wing. Overlapping on the outside is Mendez. Gets to the ball at the far touchline. Keeps it in play. Drops it off for Trout. Turns it up the wing. Still has it. Looks toward the corner, but now moves toward the middle. Forward to the box. End line. Trying to get across in front, but he's triple teamed. And the ball taken away. Passed out to midfield. Wright moving up, and he runs over Rezas, and the foul is called. So free kick for the Salty Dogs. From their own 35 off the left wing side. 37 minutes to go in the second half, and it's even up at one apiece. Ball kicked all the way downfield, but the ref says you did it too quickly.
Travel with the team. Then you can travel on Friday, August 6th when they take.
So we'll have another restart.
Head to Rochester to take on the Rhinos. One lucky fan and a guest will board the.
As the ball will be taken on the kick from the keeper Foss from his own 30 on the left wing side. High kick downfield into Rhino territory. That's flicked out the far end of the box by Wright and chased after the touchline. Getting to it, Trout knocks it down, and then he'll pop it up in the air out toward midfield. Allnut moving in, but it skips over him and now carried away by Aguilar. Long up the right wing side, Miller after the ball. Trying to get to it, but one big bounce, and it's out of bounds to the far side. So a throw in for the Salty Dogs from their own 15 on the far side of the field. Looks like a substitution coming up for the Salty Dogs, and it looks to me like from here it's going to be Michael Millwood.
This substitution for your Salty Dogs. Entering the match, number 3, 123.
Yes, it is Millwood. So Millwood is in. And Wone is out in the 54th minute. All right, second sub of the match for the Salty Dogs. Rhinos have not made a change as of yet. Ball played forward, knocked out of bounds again at midfield on the far side. Millwood had been injured against Toronto back on July the 2nd. It was talked that he was out for the year with an knee injury. But he came back last night, his first game back, and scored a goal. Carried away up the right wing side. Trout looking to sneak the ball through to Miller a little bit too far ahead as he made his run in behind, and the ball is all the way down to the end line where it's taken by the keeper, Foss. Against the dribble forward. Outside the 18 with the right foot, will drive it out through the midfield circle. Everybody gets all bunched up, and the ball popped up in the air. Comes down to the 6 on the near side and headed away out of the box by Wilson. Underneath it is Aguilar to knock it down for Neto. Back heel, Aguilar on the attack. Across midfield, works toward the middle. He'll cross to the outside, switch it on the right wing for Miller. Down to the 18, the far end of the box. Miller cross in front, moving it, head ball. Oh, just missed the left post. A diving header off the left wing side. Moving in on the ball was... Looks like maybe it was Delgado. Got the head ball away. Just missed the left post by a couple of feet. Nice cross by Miller.
The Castle Slide Part 2 featuring the Platinum Band. And this time, we're going.
All right, a goal kick.
Get your hands working, Syracuse.
From Foss with the right foot, will drive it out through midfield. Right stepping up, but Wilson heads it away across midfield and out of bounds. Throw in for the Salty Dogs, their own side of midfield. Will be taken by Lyson. Cross midfield, stepping in. Semedo volleys it in the air through midfield. Underneath it, Miller knocks it aside, but Mayer comes up with the ball, and the Dogs have the ball back. 34 minutes to go, second half, even at 1. Ball in the near wing, moving in to knock it away is as Delgado, but goes down, and he is in pain. Delgado went down right away, got jammed up in a collision with the Syracuse player, went down and favoring his left leg.
Take it back now, y'all.
Substitution coming up is getting ready to check into the match is Lowe for the Salty Dogs. Delgado is down on the outside the playing surface as play is stopped, and the Rhinos trainer Dave DePasquale attending to Noah Delgado, looking at his left knee. All right, so Lowe is in. And the 57th minute.
Number 4,
Cupano Lowe.
Replacing number 13, Ryan Hall.
And Hall is out in the 57th minute. So that's 3 substitutions for the Salty Dogs. Delgado is up, and he is walking. And he came down very awkwardly on that left leg, twisting it. Now Delgado walking along to shake it off. Pulling the sock back up. Looks like he'll try and continue. Goal kick from Zagar. Plays it through midfield. Up in the air. Ball is kicked away by Neto. High control by the Dogs at the midfield line. Turn back toward the middle. Pass ahead, and Mayer turns it back to the outside, sliding in on that, knocks it loose. He gets tangled up, and a foul is called on the Salty Dogs. And Syracuse very upset about the call. Delgado is back on the pitch. Or is he? Is that him? See, Kirk Wilson is up in a hurry, getting ready to come in. No, he might not be back. All right, so a free kick for the Rhinos. It's the long cross out to the right wing side. Trout trying to drop it back in front, but off his right leg and out over the end line, and a goal kick. Goal kick for the Salty Dogs. 31 and a half minutes to go. Second half, even at 1. Backing up Foss. Now Kirk Wilson ready to check in. And now does come out onto the pitch here in the 59th minute. So Kirk Wilson is in.
For the Rhinos, number 21, Kirk Wilson.
And
number 13, Noah
Delgado is out as he was injured. Injured the knee, it looked like, and he is off the pitch, and Kirk Wilson is in. Play picks up, ball in the far corner, knocked out over the end line. Off of the Rhinos, and a corner kick for the Salty Dogs. Or no, rather turn that around, a corner kick for the Rhinos. Off the right wing side. Aguilar moving over for the corner kick. 30 minutes to go, second half, even at 1. Both goals scored right near the end of the first half. Aguilar, he'll serve it up with a right foot out, swinging kick in front, but headed away out of the box. All the way out on the far side, and a big bounce is out of bounds, and a throw in for the Rhinos. 25 yards out, Mendes with a throw in, short to Aguilar. Tried to put it along the far side, but that one knocked away and carried off by the Dogs. Out through midfield. Crossed into the center circle. Rivas under the ball. Moving up the near wing. Lays it on the outside. And running onto the ball is Barnes in the near corner. A speedster with the ball along the near side. Trout knocks it loose momentarily. But Barnes again with a net picked off by Wilson. And the Rhinos have the ball as Trout comes away. Trout along the near touchline. Puts it off the foot of Barnes and out. Throw in on the near side of the field for the Rhinos at their own 18. As John Wilson will move up for the throw-in. On the near side, flick on by Trout, but in behind is taken away by the Dogs. At the midfield line, carried into Rhino territory. Pass in the middle. Here is Mayer on the attack. Turns it to the outside, but nobody's there. Rolls out over the end line. Goal kick for the Rhinos. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include Golden Memories, the bus company the Rhinos use. Vision Nissan at 785 Ridge Road in Webster. Salvatore's Pizza. The families from Rochester are proud of it. And by Weigel's, providing sausage and meat products since 1880. Zagar with the right foot drives it out through midfield. Allnut for the flick on, but couldn't quite reach it. That's knocked down. Then Allnut knocked it away momentarily. And lost control again. It's in the center circle to Aguilera there for the Rhinos. Pass off to Kirk Wilson, but couldn't reach it. And the ball taken away, then headed aside by right. And the Rhinos recover the ball. Thrown side of midfield on the near side. John Wilson rolls it in for Neto. One touch on the ball. Tried to get it on the backside, but taken away. Played to the outside. Stepping in to intercept is Wilson. Turns, and then he's taken down on a tackle by Barnes of the Dogs, and so it'll be a free kick for the Rhinos. Once again, the Rhinos looking at the linesman on the near side, saying, where's the call of the foul? Semedo, long, high delivery downfield, and the ball is flicked back to the keeper. Right away now on the goal kick. 28 minutes to go in the second half, even at 1. Ball flights it through midfield. Headed in the air and bouncing down to the center circle. Not on his side again, as Neto couldn't quite get to it. The ball is chipped in the air over the near side, and Barnes heads it back toward the middle, and Wilson is there for the Rhinos. Off the left wing for Trout. Off the chest, but that's knocked down and brought away. Rivas popping it up in the air, off the head, placing it off of the near wing, and then headed away off the right wing side by Mendez. Underneath it, Kirk Wilson skipping in behind, trying to get away from Lowe, and does across midfield. Wilson on the attack. Down to the 35, chasing behind, stops, turns, and the ball rolls away. Carried back by Rivas of the Dogs. Long is 35, chased by Kirk Wilson, spins, and Wilson takes it away. Gets a tug, Neto pass off to Miller, drops it back to Wilson, right foot in, his shot in his way wide left and rolls out over the end line. So Wilson gets the shot away, but it's way wide. So a goal kick once again for the Salty Dogs. 27 minutes to go in the second half. Again, substitution coming up, as the Rhinos will be sending Kerry Harry into the match. And who will be checking off? Nobody at the moment. Play is put underway. Deep to the near corner. Semedo back. And he'll put it 25 rows into the stands. Throwing on the near side of the field for the Dogs. Neto coming out. And Kerry Harry going in the 54th minute.
Chris Carrier replacing number 20, Eduardo Neto.
All right, so Neto is out. That's the second sub of the match for the Rhinos. Throwing on the near side by the Salty Dogs from the Rhinos 15. That's headed into the box, rolling in onto the 6, and picked up on the second hop by Zagar. Well, the Rhino keeper has the ball, moves the players away. 26 minutes to go. Second half. Even at 1. Zagar rolls it ahead out of the 18. Now pass up the right wing side to Mendez. Drops it back into the center circle area for Dave Wright. Good draw forward, turns it to the outside again. Mendez draws it across the right wing side through midfield. Checking back Miller, one touch up the right wing. Under the ball, Kirk Wilson deep to the corner as he's bothered there by Lowe, and Lowe pops the ball up in the air. Pass ahead, however, right to Mendez. The Rhinos recover the ball. Off the right wing side again for Wilson, dropping it back to the 40 on the right wing for Mendez. Turns it into the middle for Aguilera. Drops it off of the center circle. Semedo switching to the outside on the left wing this time for John Wilson. Pass ahead to Trout. Drawing it up the near wing. Sneaks it to the outside, and Kerry Harry can't reach it. Falls behind him out of bounds. That deflected away by the Rhinos, and out. Now Lennon Steenkamp coming in.
For Rochester. Entering the match.
Steenkamp coming in, and it'll be Allnut checking off.
Replacing number 9, Yari Alma.
In the 65th minute. 65th minute, time of the substitution. As again, Steenkamp is in. And Allnut is out after playing another excellent match. All right, along the near side, ball out of bounds. Another throw in for the Salty Dogs, this time from the Rhino 35 on the near side. Barnes with the throw in. Going short to Rivas, heads it to the outside. To Lysan, he'll tip it up to the 18, but Wright is there to head it all the way out to near midfield. Miller, one touch off to Kerry Harry. Center circle, pushed off the ball by Mayer. No call, and it rolls to the outside. Low on the left wing, drawing it up the far wing, no on the touch line. As the Dogs try and get loose, cross along the 18, but back for it is Semedo. Bob with the ball, hammers it out through the midfield circle. No help there for the Rhinos. Head of the side and Lyson stepping in under the ball for the Dogs. Drawing it forward to the circle. Pass ahead. In the middle to Mayer. To the outside of the near wing for Rivas. On the right wing and along the near touchline to Barnes. Drawing it forward into Rhino territory. Down to the 18. Chips it inside the 18. Big bounce to the end line is scooped up and grabbed onto held by Zagar, the Rhino keeper. So Barnes trying to send Millwood in. A little bit too much on the ball. On the restart, the Rhinos bring it out to near midfield in the far side of the field. We have Lowe being pulled down by Carrieri. His arm's about 4 or 5 inches longer right now. So a restart for the Salty Dogs at the midfield line. Is coming off their left wing side. There's the service high into the 18. That's headed and missing the short side. Comes out wide of the net and over the head line and a goal kick for the Rhinos. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include Tire World at 2049 Empire Boulevard in Webster. Bollier Chevrolet Oldsmobile and Buick in Honeoye Falls. Westmont Apartments, studio 1 and 2 bedroom apartments and gates. Also by Spinning Webs, the official website provider of the Rhinos. Zagar with the right foot. Drives it through midfield, but in the center circle, that's headed back across the midfield line into Rhino territory. Millwood trying to get away, but Wright steps in to knock it away and off the left foot, but shanked it up into the stands and on a play. Throw in on the near side for the Salty Dogs. Ahead for Lysand along the near wing, looking to sneak the ball through to Millwood. Knocks the ball down, stepping in to take it away is Samento. It's Trout on the near wing, dropping it off along his 18 for Wilson. Pass ahead for Ampado, but can't get loose. Bounced off his would take it away, and turn Samento was there to knock it away. On the far side out to near midfield, Lowe loose up the left wing in the Rhino territory, pushing it to the outside. Looks for a return pass, but does not get to it in time as it's out of bounds. So a throw it on the far side of the field for the Rhinos from their own 35. Throw into right. Draws it forward across to midfield and then drop back again. Wright taking it, turns to the outside to get away from Carabayal. To the outside of the right wing as Mendez chips it ahead. That's headed away at the midfield line to the Dogs, moving up and stepping in to take it away and turn his Steenkamp. Through the center circle, up the left wing side, across the midfield line. Pass forward. Trout drops it to the outside for John Wilson and back in the middle for Trout. Again on the outside of the near wing for Wilson. Turns, sneaks it through to Trout up the left wing side. Gets away and then he's bumped and the ball rolls off his foot and out of bounds. Throw in on the near side of the field for the Salty Dogs from their own 30. High throwing out to near midfield over everybody and chased down by Samento. Pops it in the air and off the chest of Wright. Draws it forward. Tips it out to the midfield line for Kirk Wilson. As he's able to settle the ball at the feet. Turns upfield and across midfield. Looking for the through ball, but it's knocked away enough into the stands on the far side. Throwing for the Rhinos. 40 yards out off the right wing side. 20 and a half minutes to go on the clock here in the second half of play. Even at 1, the throw in to Wilson, touching it right back to the outside for Mendez. Dropping it off, Steenkamp sneaks it through. Kirk Wilson on the attack. Off the right wing to the end line. Carrieri won't get to it. It's out over the end line. And a goal kick for the Salty Dogs. These two teams meet in Rochester, Frontier Field, next Friday night. Friday night, the fourth and final match of the regular season between the two teams. Voss with the right foot. Delivers through midfield. Pops up in the air out on the far wing. Underneath it goes Kirk Wilson. He'll volley it through midfield. Carrieri couldn't reach it. It's knocked down to the midfield line. Lowe has it on the left wing side for the Salty Dogs. And a pass in for Millwood checking back for the ball. As he gets tied up, and no whistle. No foul was called on Millwood and a free kick for the Rhinos. Millwood moves over, picks up the ball, throws it back a few yards, and Kirk Wilson picks it up, puts it back at the point where it was before. Right on the restart. Switch to the outside on the left wing and onto the ball at the midfield line. John Wilson drops it back in the middle for Samento. Center circle, right again, tips it to the outside along the left wing and at the midfield line, taken by John Wilson. Chips it ahead up the left wing side. Carrieri heads it back in the middle, but it's an offside flag on the far side of the field. Rhinos 7 offsides in the first half and 1 now in the second half. Restart for the Salty Dogs from their own 25 off the right wing side. And under 20 minutes now to go in the second half of play.
I think Salty needs some time.
That's cleared down. Right 18 headed into the middle, and Zagar outruns under the ball, picks it up on the first hop. As it is 18, shades his eyes again as he's looking into the sun, which is setting off to our left. Zagar throws it out of the near wing, up the left wing side. Semedo approaching midfield as he's watched by Barnes, rolls it ahead. Aguilar, one touch back. Semedo, one touch forward to Steenkamp, drops it back in the middle of his 35 to David Wright, and now goes long up the right wing side, but Lowe is there, heads it in the air, and it gets to it again, nods it forward, but Steenkamp's dead. No, he can't get to it, as the ball is knocked away. To the outside again on the right wing for Kirk Wilson. Turns it up the wing, trying to get away from Steele. That's off the leg of Lowe and rolling out of bounds deep in the far corner, about a couple of inches outside the corner flag. So a throw in deep in the corner for the Rhinos. Doug Miller moving over for the throw in. Able to back out behind the field signs to take a run at it, get a long throw in.
Good substitution entering the match for the Salty Dogs.
Well, the substitution coming up now.
Attila Linder, replacing number 17, Moyle Carabajal.
Carabayal is out. And can't tell for sure who it was in. It might have been Lara. Ball popped up in the air and coming out toward midfield. Again, you can't read the numbers on the jerseys. And can't understand the PA man that well either. That ball is left-footed all the way downfield, and a bounce is at the 18. Foss knocks it loose. Carrieri up with the ball. Oh, Foss turns, dives on the ball, and has it. He bobbled the ball. Carrieri able to tip it in behind him, but Foss spun around, jumped in the ball before Carrieri could get it behind him and loose. So close. Downfield on the near wing, and the ball knocked out of bounds. No, it was Vende that came into the match in the 73rd minute. Vende. Attila Vende out of Bratislava, Slovakia. 23-year-old. So a goal kick for the Rhinos. Zagar with the right foot drives it out through midfield. Rivas steps up, heads it right to John Wilson, who plays it right back to Rivas, and he'll chip it down to the Rhino 18. One bounce inside the 18, grabbed by Zagar. 16 and a half minutes to go for the second half, and even at one. Long kick downfield. Over Carrieri, headed aside on the near wing, and John Wilson steps in as the ball pops up in the air off the foot of Barnes and out of the throw-in for the Rhinos. Wilson throwing, but stepping in to intercept. That's played away and then volleyed out through midfield. Semedo gets the foot on it to knock it away for Pato. Turns it to the outside of the near wing for Steenkamp. Spins with the ball, and moving back is Miller is bumped away. There's no call. Play goes on. Pass up the near wing for Barnes. Checking back for the ball. Wilson on him. Barnes has it forward, and helping out is Semedo. In a collision, and the ball out of bounds and off of Semedo. Throw in on the near side for the Salty Dogs. Pass up at the near end of the box for Millwood as he and Wright tangle up, and it rolls out over the end line. Corner kick. Ball off the head of Dave Wright. Corner kick on the near side for the Dogs. Third Syracuse corner kick of the match. And Steele, the youngster, over to take the corner. The 18-year-old was a left footer. In swinging kick in the box, headed away by Kirk Wilson all the way out to the 35. That's rolled off of the near wing again. Steele with another cross along the 18, skipping through in front, moving in, the shot in, over. Oh, they score! It's under the crossbar. Vende able to bend it under the crossbar, and looked like it was going high, but it's in under the crossbar. Syracuse scores. The Crunch regain the lead. 75th minute. As Vende records his third. And the Slovakian puts it away. Now in 4 games has 2 goals and an assist for 5 points in his last 4 games. So Vende gets the goal. It's 2-1 Syracuse. And the Rhinos have about 14 minutes to try and get one back here. Played up at the end, and the whistle is blown out at midfield, and a free kick for the Salty Dogs. Foul is on the Rhinos. So Syracuse leading 2-1. As the goal scored by Attila Vendig. And the restart through the center circle comes off on the near wing. That's hammered toward the man and grabbed in the short hop by Zagar. Moves out, has the ball. Takes a look around, rolls it off on the right wing side and brought forward by Mendez. Turns back in the middle, off to right. As he's chased there on the far wing, and it's sent downfield, but in behind is Miller. Offside flag against the Rhinos. So a free kick for the Salty Dogs from their own 35. 13 minutes and the clock running. Running a little faster, that is, now that the Rhinos are trailing. That's the time remaining on the clock in the second half of play, and the ball played to the end line is out over the end line, and a goal kick for the Rhinos. Zagar placing the ball quickly at the 6. Gets ready with the right foot. Moves it ahead and now drives it out through the midfield line. That's headed forward by Rivas, but Samedo underneath it will flick it back to his keeper. Zagar has it again inside of his 18. This time, volley kick, high floater through the center circle. And is headed back to the midfield line underneath of Millwood. Flick on and hitting him behind Mendez for the Rhinos. Chips it out to the midfield circle, but headed forward again for Millwood. Off of the left wing, drives it up the wing. Down near the end line, trying to get loose. Mendez takes it away and turns and jams it up into the stands on the far side. Throwing up the far wing.
Hey, the soccer game. We got to have a little contact action.
For the Salty Dogs.
Get those hands going.
Steele moving over for the throw in. And when his place put out toward midfield, as Miller escapes across the midfield line, being challenged from behind. Ball is through and rolling, and it gets to the keeper, Foss, in time for him to one-time it out toward midfield. Turning back, John Wilson on the near side. He'll play it out to midfield, flicked on by Trout. Big hopper across midfield, but knocked loose. And Mayer, however, taken away by Steenkamp, turns it to the outside up the left wing. Steenkamp, as he spins, and the ball is away and out over the touch line. Steenkamp and Mayer do a little pushing. The ref stands in between them. Throw in for the Salty Dogs from their own 30 on the near side of the field. Substitution. As Dagu coming in for the Rhinos, and it'll be Pato Aguilera checking out here in the 79th minute.
Has added the assist to Syracuse number 11, M.J. Mayer, on Syracuse's 7th goal.
Of course, Mayer gets an assist.
Attila Vendig from number
on that last goal. That's the way they do it here, is the home team gets a goal and an assist, and the visiting team gets just the goal. No assist. So Dagu is in, and Aguilera is out in the 79th minute. And it's turned to the outside of the left wing. It popped up in the air as Steenkamp heads it back. John Wilson taking it there, settles the ball at the feet, sneaks it through to Trout. Out the left wing for Steenkamp, reaching in, but all gone away and bounces out of bounds. Throw in for the Salty Dogs. High floater out toward midfield. Steenkamp nods it into the middle. Checking back to help out Kirk Wilson, but that's knocked away. Stepping in is right in a collision with Schweitzer, and they go down. The ball, no, that's by Barnes rather, and they go down. The ball knocked away. Rhinos, as the foul is called. Attendance tonight, 8048. And I would say, 8048 is the attendance here tonight. Thank you. On the restart, Samedo chips it down to the 18. That one popped up in the air, coming out top. Settled and pushed aside by Trout. Flick on by Steenkamp. Shooting carrier, he left foot, but he puts it wide. Missing the right post as he off the left foot and wide, out over the end line. So a goal kick for the Salty Dogs. Now around 9 minutes remaining. Season high tonight, 8,048. And they're counting both legs on each person. 8,048. You got to be kidding. All right, ball out of bounds on the near wing. I was looking around trying to figure out what they had here, and I was guesstimating somewhere around 3,500. A lot of no-shows here in Syracuse. Rod forward now by Samedo, but foul is called, and the Rhinos have the free kick. Wilson puts it off the foot of Barnes, who stepped in the way and wouldn't allow the restart, and he's going to get the yellow card. Yellow card to Barnes in the 82nd minute. So now the Rhinos with the restart. 8 minutes remaining on the clock here in the second half as the Dogs have taken a 2-1 lead.
For the Salty Dogs under 19 youth raffle.
Rod forward now by Dave Wright toward the center circle. Turns, draws the ball to the outside for Mendez. He sneaks by Steele up the right wing. Mendez crossed through the 18. Steenkamp heads it back toward the middle, but that one knocked away. Then is volleyed in the air out to the center circle. Samedo in underneath it, heads it forward. John Wilson trying to get to it, is bumped off the ball, and is kicked off of the near wing and up into the stands and on a play. Throw in on the near side for the Rhinos from their own 45. Samedo for the throw in. Trying to get it to Carrieri, but couldn't sneak it through. That's knocked loose, and Wilson touching the ball back. Chased down by Samedo with the near touch line. Rolls toward the middle for Wright. He'll sneak it forward. As Steenkamp touching it right back to Dave Wright, moving forward from his 35 up the middle. Wright drops it off for Steenkamp, turns it to the outside of the right wing, and chips it ahead on the right wing side, but stepping into it. Now it bounces loose, and Miller takes it. Down to the 35 and back in the middle for Steenkamp. As he'll turn to the outside, rolls it ahead, trying to get through. Wilson in the middle, turns upfield at the 18, spins around to the far end of the box and drops it off. Here's Dargu dropping it back. Mendez 30 yards out of the right wing. Long cross down in front. Up they go, and Foss comes down with the ball. Harry up in the air trying to get the head on it, but Foss at 6'5" with about 20-foot long arms, of course, won that battle. 6.5 minutes to go here in the second half, and the ball flighted downfield. Big hopper to the end line and not over the end line, so it is a goal kick for the Rhinos. Zagar placing the ball with the right foot. Floater through midfield. Steenkamp for the flick on. Carrieri heads it forward. Now blocked loose by Miller. Left-footed shot in, but he puts it wide right. Off the left wing side. Gets the shot away with the left foot, but puts it across the goal mouth and wide. Another goal kick for the Salty Dogs. 6 minutes showing on the clock. Time running out of the Rhinos as the Salty Dogs looking for their 7th straight win here tonight. Kick through midfield, but Dargu moving in, knocks it away for Kirk Wilson. Couldn't quite reach it. Taken back by the Dogs. Rivas on the left wing, pushing it to the outside, and now it's chipped up the near wing. Running onto the ball at the end line, Millwood, and Samedo turns it behind, takes it away, spins to the outside. Samedo with the left foot, and he put it up into the stands. So a throw in on the near side of the field for the Salty Dogs from the Rochester 15. Lysan moving up to take the throw in, taking his time. Trying to get players moving around. Goes to the end line for Millwood. Quick inside the 18, but Steenkamp there to knock it down. Drops it off, and Samedo will hammer it out through midfield. Out goes Carrieri. Ball is headed aside off of the near wing. On the midfield line, Wilson moving in, trying to get it away from Rivas, and stepping in to intercept his Trout. Pass ahead, Carrieri turning to the right, looking to sneak the ball through to Miller, but in behind, it's knocked away. Off in the far wing and out. Throw in for the Rhinos on the far side of the field. Jefferson Gagu will move over for the throw in and take it from 15 yards out on the far side. Gagu goes short on the throw in to Mendez. Pass toward the middle to the outside. Wilson to Mendez. Cross it on the 18, but that's headed away and out to the center circle. And underneath it, brought forward. Knocked down. It looked like a handball, but no call. Yes, it was a call. Wait a minute. They say it's off of Rochester. Now I say it's a foul on Rochester. Wow. So it'll go the other way with 4 minutes remaining on the clock. Ball flighted toward the far corner. Steele underneath it. Mendez on him, and it gets away from Steele and out of bounds. Throw in deep in the corner for the Rhinos. Mendez looking it over. Joe in short to right. Turns it. Ball. He's a high floater through midfield. Miller there, but can't get to it. It's headed out of bounds by the Salty Dogs, so a throw in at midfield on the far side for the Rhinos. Mendez with the throw. He gets a return pass from Wilson. In the middle for Wilson. Gets it back. It moves up the right side, but kicked away now by Millwood. Another throw in for the Rhinos near midfield. Mendez this time comes back with the throw in to Dave Wright. As he's pressured, Wright settling the ball, spinning away from Steele. Turns it up the right wing and drives it across midfield for Kirk Wilson on the right side. Gets by one and another. And a pass toward the middle. Spinning around is Trout. Rolls it to the outside of the right wing for Mendez. Crosses out in front. Miller with a head ball up in the air and way too high over top of the net. So a head ball very high. Another goal kick for the Salty Dogs. Just under 3 minutes now remaining on the clock. Ball placed by Foss, the keeper. And with the right foot, drives it out through midfield. Right up, heads it aside, but right to Steele of the Salty Dogs. Chips it down in front and moving out to grab it at his 15 is Zagar. He'll volley it through midfield. Underneath the Miller can't get to it as he's pulled off the ball, but stepping in on the other side is Steenkamp to bring it away. Off the left wing side, sneaks it through to Trout. Spins, turns to his left, gets away with the ball. Trout up the wing, lays it to the open left wing side, but nobody there. And the ball rolls out over the end line. Carrieri bumped and sent flying as he went for the ball at the end line. Now the referee is chasing after Carrieri. And the yellow card is going to Carrieri. Boy, it looked like the Syracuse player got the shoulder in and bumped Carrieri. And evidently it was not that way. So the card issued to Carrieri here in the 88th minute.
Yellow card finishes the Rochester number 15, Chris Carrieri.
And the kick by the keeper. Sent out through midfield. Right in behind as he runs into Steele. And the ball is headed aside by Samedo. Underneath it right. Turns back. Now with the left foot. Sends it out through the center circle. Trout stepping in. Turns it up the left wing side. On the attack, Ryan Trout bumped from behind as he's grabbed onto. No call is made and the ball is out to midfield. Sneaks through. In behind, knocked loose and taken away by Wright again. Mendez back for the ball. Just over a minute showing on the clock remaining in this one. Off the right wing side to Kirk Wilson. On the attack, bounces through, and Dagu spins away, comes with the ball. Back near midfield, turns it up the right wing side. Dagu still on the attack, pushing the ball to the end line. Trying to get in behind for a cross. Puts it off the foot. Out the defender and out over the end line. Blocked away by Lowe. And a corner kick for the Rhinos. Rochester corner off the right wing side. Carrieri for the corner kick. Low service in the box. Headed away in the air and out. All the way out to the center circle. Samedo heads it forward. In under the ball himself. Trying to head it forward again. But blocked away. Now knocked loose at the midfield line. And Mendez steps up at the right wing. To the outside. A hit for Carrieri. Half a minute showing on the clock. Carrieri up the right wing side. Moving in. Wilson can't get by. At the far end of the box is blocked away. Carried off by the Salty Dogs out of midfield. Stepping in is Dave Wright. Drops it off. Leaves it there for Samedo. Turns it up the right wing. On chip down to the 18, but headed away. Stepping in underneath the ball is John Wilson. In a collision. As a foul is called on the Rhinos. Foul is called. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Syracuse has a player down on the pitch, wasting as much time as possible. Clock is stopped at 0. Clock is stopped. No time remaining on the clock. Is the trainer now being called out onto the pitch? No, he's up and all right. Whoever the player was is up and okay. So 3 minutes of stoppage time. And the restart to be taken by the Salty Dogs from their own 20. 2-1 lead for Syracuse. And the ball long up the left wing side. It floats over Steele and Out of play. Throw in for the Rhinos from their own 20, their own 30 on the far side of the field. Carlos Mendez. Long high floater through midfield. Now went bouncing back to the midfield circle and pounded high in the air, coming back deep in the corner. Underneath it goes Wright. Getting the ball in the corner. Millwood watching him. Wright heads it forward to Mendez. In under the ball. Blocks it. Drops it back at the end line for Wright. Steps over the ball. Plays it off the right wing for Carlos Mendez. Chips it out through midfield. Miller in behind but can't get away. And the ball is headed away out of bounds to the far side. So a throw in a midfield for the Rhinos. Stoppage time. The Rhinos trailing 2-1. Kirk Wilson on the attack, but knocked away, and after goes Wright on his own 30. Long line drive kick downfield. Yagu under the ball. It's out the left wing side. Moving in. John Wilson. That's knocked away and out over the end line. Kicked out of bounds on the near side. Evidently, it did not go out over the end line. It's a throw in on the near side for the Rhinos. Semedo from 35 yards out with a throw in. Steenkamp turning in behind. Moving in Carrieri. That's popped up in the air. Right footed kick by Yagu, and it goes wide right. Got a side body kick away on the ball, but it goes wide to the right side. Stoppage time here in Syracuse. The Rhinos need a goal. Trailing 2-1. The goal kick to be taken by Foss. Maybe a minute or so left is about it. Foss takes his time. The ref says, come on, get it going.
Put the top foot down.
With the right foot, Foss drives it out through midfield. That went floating over to the corner. Steele underneath it for the Salty Dogs. Approaching the end line. Cross down in front. That's knocked loose on the near side. Barnes trying to settle into the near end of the box. Step to the ball and goes down and is brought away to the corner by Steenkamp. As he's bumped by Barnes deep in the near corner. Plays it off for Semedo and a pass up the left wing. Trout to the outside for Steenkamp. Rhinos might get one more rush. Pass ahead for Carrieri in the middle as he's bumped off the ball. Pass for Wilson in the middle. Tied up. That's knocked away and taken back by the Salty Dogs. Shipped ahead but headed aside by Wright. Millwood at the midfield line, stepping up on the left wing. Into Rhino territory. Turns to the outside, trying to sneak by Mendez as they go to the corner. Mendez is behind the ball, knocked out of bounds. Throw into the far side for the Rhinos. No, foul was called, and the Rhinos have the restart. Mendez backs up on the ball. Now with the right foot. Cross to the near side, and underneath it is Ryan Trout up the left wing. Out to near midfield. Trout turning back toward the middle. Long downfield, but that's headed away back on the near side. Trout underneath it heads it up the left wing, but it skips out of bounds on the near side. So a throw in for the Salty Dogs, their own side of midfield. Just seconds remaining, and the Rhinos trailing 2-1. Throw in on the near wing. It's knocked through. Semedo after it. In the corner, and there it is. That's it. So the Rhinos come out on the short end of things here tonight. From Syracuse, final score, the Salty Dogs 2 and the Rochester Rhinos 1. And this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network. Tonight at PNC Stadium in Syracuse, the third meeting of the year between the Rhinos and the Syracuse Salty Dogs. And the Rhinos come out a goal short tonight as the Salty Dogs continue their winning string, which is now a season-long, or rather a franchise-high, seven straight wins for the Syracuse Salty Dogs, and Syracuse inches ever closer to a playoff spot. The Salty Dogs now in 21 games played have an 11-7-3 record, 36 points, have moved to within 2 points of Atlanta for the last playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. The Rhinos in 22 games played have a 13-8-1 record and remain second in the conference and overall with 40 points. So the situation tightens here. It gets tighter and tighter as we go along. And Syracuse inches its way back into playoff contention. All right, let's take care of a couple of things here. First of all, the Chase Picken play of the game. Well, it's got to be that goal, which turned out to be the game-winning goal in the 75th minute. The goal was scored by Attila Vende in the 75th minute, and that was the game decider. Chase Picken with a lifetime tool warranty for all tools purchased at Chase Picken. And the best Rhino of the game tonight. Well, not that anybody played particularly bad. Everybody played, it seemed to be pretty well. I thought Ryan Trout had an outstanding game. Trout, the best Rhino of the game, brought to you by Rochester's exclusive Volvo dealer at 1500 University Avenue. So the Rhinos tonight come out on the short end of a 2-1 score against the Syracuse Salty Dogs, and the season series now all even up. Rochester with 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 tie against the Salty Dogs this year here in Syracuse, picking up a loss and a tie in the 2 games played here. Of course, the 2 teams meet one more time, and that'll be in Rochester next Friday when the season series will close out. Back with the post-game show coming up next. Again, the final score from Syracuse, the Salty Dogs 2 and the Raging Rhinos 1. This is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network. Back in Syracuse at PNC Stadium, the last visit for the Rhinos to this facility this year, and I'm certainly not unhappy about that. Man, oh man, difficult to work from here, but anyway. Let's run through what happened in tonight's game on our post-game show. Check out the scoring. Not a whole lot until near the end of the first half when Syracuse got on the board first. The Salty Dogs scoring first on a goal from Mauro Carabayao, one of the newcomers to the Salty Dogs. His second, O'Neill assisting, and this puts the Salty Dogs up 1-0. On a return pass to O'Neill, moving to his left, trying to sneak it through. Ball knocked loose. Where's the ball? Where's the ball? It is in the net, out the right post and in the net. And the Rhinos coming out, looking for the call. Where's the offside? The Rhinos are looking for the offside flag, but don't get it. Ball was in behind. Somebody was there to touch it inside the right post. It stuck through and in behind, along with the Syracuse player that was in behind. And the Dogs have scored. Well, there was never an offside flag, and Carabayao gets credit for the goal. His second, O'Neill assisting, and the Dogs taking a 1-0 lead. Rhinos came back and answered that in stoppage time with their first goal of the night. Scored in the 45th minute. Doug Miller picking up his 4th of the season, and this puts the Rhinos on the board to make it even at 1 apiece. Here's Allnut, down to the 18, moving in, triple team, taken down, no call. There's the shot, they score! It bounced loose to Doug Miller to the right side. Miller with the left foot chips it in under the crossbar as the Rhinos come back and even it up. Allnut taken down in a triple team, and the ball squirts loose to Miller, who puts it away. At the 45th minute, Miller recording his 4th, and Allnut, I thought he actually touched the ball or forced it to the outside, but it was never credited with an assist. So we'll say that Miller scored unassisted in the 45th minute to even the match up at 1 apiece. So we went to halftime, and then the next goal was the deciding goal. In the 75th minute, it was Attila Vende putting it away for his 3rd of the season as Mayer picks up an assist. Anthony Mayer on the assist, 75th minute, and this is the game's deciding goal. For the near wing again, Steele with another cross along the 18, skipping through in front, moving in, the shot in, over! Oh, they score, it's under the crossbar! Vende able to bend it under the crossbar, and looked like it was going high, but it's in under the crossbar. Syracuse scores, the country gained the lead. At the 75th minute, Vende recording his 3rd of the season, Mayer assisting, and that was the go-ahead goal for Syracuse, which held up the rest of the way, and that's the way it ended, 2-1 in favor of the Salty Dogs. Don't have an official stat sheet as of yet. Unofficially, I had the Rhinos out-shooting the Salty Dogs by a 10-5 margin. And again, unofficial shots. Corner kicks, 3 for each team. 6 total in the game. 3 corner kicks for each team in the match. And offsides, the Rhinos had 9 offsides, and the Salty Dogs with 3. 9-3, the offsides. All right, in goal, Theo Zagar with the 2 goals against, and takes the losses record now at 10-6-1. And on the other side, goaltender Byron Foss with the victory has now an 8-5-0 record, and that is 7 straight wins for Foss as he gives up 1 goal tonight. That is 7 straight wins for the Syracuse Salty Dogs. Again, a franchise record, 7 straight wins. The attendance, 8,048. They say a season high, and again, I was looking around, and if there were more than 3,500 here, I'd be surprised. But anyway, 8,048 is the announced attendance here tonight. Well, that'll do it for my part here tonight. Still coming along, Andrew Battisti will have an update on what's going on in the Richmond-Atlanta game, and he'll be taking phone calls and checking in with Soccer Sam, so stick around for more along our network. Final score tonight from Syracuse: the Salty Dogs 2 and the Raging Rhinos 1. I'm Don Stevens. Thanks for being along, and this is the Raging Rhinos Radio Network.
Andrew Battisti back here in Rhinos Radio Central with the Free Time Magazine out-of-town scoreboard. Free Time Magazine is available twice a month. New York's premier arts and entertainment guide. Pick it up there or go to freetime.com anytime. Pick it up anywhere around the Rochester area, hundreds of locations. Big match tonight in the A-League other than the one we just heard here on the Rhinos Radio Network. In Atlanta tonight, the Silverbacks hosted the Richmond Kickers, two teams fighting for playoff positioning, and it was the Richmond Kickers winning the match in Atlanta by a 2-1 scoreline. Kevin Jeffrey with both goals for the victorious Kickers. They move now into second place in the Eastern Conference ahead of the Rhinos. Other match in the A-League tonight in Calgary, and the Mustangs picked up a big victory, defeating Seattle 3-0. Demir Jessitz with a pair of goals for the victorious Mustangs. And one other score today, the United States women's national team, their final match before the Olympic Games, defeating China 3-1. Rochester's Abby Wambach with a goal and an assist. Mia Hamm with a goal and 2 assists for the victorious U.S. national team. Allie Wagner with the other goal for the Stars and Stripes. They'll play in the Olympic Games starting on August 11th against the host country, Greece. That's it for the Free Time Magazine Out of Town Scoreboard. Coming up next, it's Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Give us a call, 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009 here on the Rhinos Radio Network. And welcome to Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct, your Rhinos call-in show. We want to hear from you tonight. Give us a call at 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Rhinos drop a 2-1 decision in Syracuse tonight to the Salty Dogs. Let's go now live to PNC Stadium with the world's biggest soccer fan, Soccer Sam. Sam, rough night for the Rhinos tonight, and it just sounded like the game didn't have much flow to it with the artificial turn. The ball just going back and forth. And the Dogs were able to get the goal they needed in the 75th minute. And Bende with his third game-winning goal since he's joined Syracuse. He's a great player.
Definitely, Andrew. It was just a wacky bounce, though. It was just a freak bounce, and it went in the net. But we dominated play. I thought we totally controlled the whole game. Our defense was phenomenal, despite the 2 goals. It was one of those games. I mean, right now the players just kind of left and just went right on the bus. Most of the players they're not real happy. About the loss. You dominated play, a lot of opportunities they created, just can't get in the net, I guess.
Well, Don was questioning the call in the first half on the goal. Bill Sedgwick at halftime also was unsure about that. Did you see the angle, or were you in the press box and were able to see the angle on the first goal, if it was offsides or not?
I was down near the field, and it definitely was offsides, their first goal. But, what are you going to do, man? I mean, the referee was making a lot of questionable calls against the Rhinos, but I think he was just winded. I mean, the ball was bouncing back and forth all over the place, hard surface, and I just think he was struggling to keep up with the play, and at times he was making some kind of homer-type calls.
Well, what about Doug Miller's goal?
Doug Miller's goal, Yari Allen just worked really hard, kind of fell in the middle and right in front of the penalty box area, right in the penalty kick spot. And he kind of was on the ground and just reached over and last minute kicked it over to Doug, and Doug was onside, just popped it in the net. Nobody marking him, and it was a great goal, tied up. The fans here went nuts. Rochester fans, a lot of Rochester fans here. Probably I'd say at least 2,000 Rochester fans here. It was great. A lot of people said they came up, spent the day here, went to the outlet mall, did some things, and it was kind of cool.
Well, the Rhino fans, again, supporting the team. We got hats off to all the fans who made the trip down I-90. Perfect day for soccer. Beautiful day, 78 degrees, sunny. Rhinos, hopefully, will not have to play in Syracuse again this year, depending on the playoff situation. But, Sam, this game is done. Rhinos lose 2-1. Now, Wednesday night, it's the U.S. Open Cup. The Rhinos have to put the A-League aside for one night and concentrate on the Charleston Battery. And the winner goes on to the semis. Loser goes home.
Definitely, Andrew. I mean, we just got to look at Wednesday's game. John Wilson played a great game. All the defenders played a great game tonight. These guys are walking out here kind of down, but I mean, I thought they totally outplayed them. Wacky bounces, and just was unfortunate.
Well, Soccer Sam with us from PNC Stadium in Syracuse. Rhinos lose 2-1 tonight to the Salty Dogs. The Dogs with their 7th victory in a row, moving closer to the playoff berth. They're now 2 points behind Atlanta, but the Silverbacks do have a game in hand, though, on the Salty Dogs.
Easy, boy, yeah, definitely. Hey, Andrew, I'm kind of Lindsay's in the training mode here to take over my position here on the post game, and Lindsay's here. Lindsay in Jurassic Park. Lindsay, your thoughts on tonight's game? You were cheering. You got yelled at by a fan for jumping up and down. So just sit down and don't ever get up. It's like you're about to turn around and smack your first there, but your thoughts on tonight's game, and I thought the Rhinos totally dominated play.
I definitely have to agree with Sam. You know, we dominated first, second half. Unlucky calls by the officials. They definitely were not on our side tonight. And an unlucky bounce for that second goal from Syracuse. You know, Theo read it a little wrong. It bounced a little bit on the turf, and unfortunately it went in. But overall, we dominated. David Wright was fantastic back there. My player of the game choice. You know, and Craig Deming was not in tonight, and Carlos Mendez pulled in for him, and they just worked solid back there. You know, working the field, spreading everything out. Solid effort by everybody.
Lindsay was mentioning in the chat room at rhinosoccer.com, I didn't hear Scott Schweitzer's name mentioned hardly at all by Don Stevens. Was he not much of a factor tonight?
Yeah, he wasn't too much of a factor. No, not dominating at all. You know, we thought we'd see a lot from him tonight, considering he'll be out on 3-game suspension starting next game. So, no, nothing major from him, but he was for sure, you know, the loudest one cheering after time ran out, and, you know, they won 2-1. He was the first one to cheer for sure.
Well, he is the captain of the Salty Dogs. I'm sure he was very happy with the result, as was Rene Rivas, who sounded like he was getting a lot of play tonight, though, has seen a lot of the ball and controlling the midfield.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, he did do a good job. But like we said, you know, a tough loss for the Rhinos. But, man, we definitely dominated first half, second half, and we just got unlucky and couldn't get in there to score that next goal.
Well, unfortunately, Rhinos dropped 2-1 to Syracuse tonight. Rhinos will see Syracuse this Friday. They will not have Scott Schweitzer. They'll not have Anthony Mayer. They'll both be suspended due to an incident in Charleston at the last road game from Syracuse. So the Salty Dogs will be a little bit undermanned. And, Lindsay, how much do you think the Rhinos missed Bill Sedgwick tonight?
You know, I think they definitely missed him. You know, he's a solid player in the mid, and he knows his game well, and he's one of those silent leaders on the field. So we did miss him. But, you know, there were a lot of different kinds of substitutions. Like we said, you know, Craig Deming sat the bench the whole game. Chris Carrier didn't go into the second half. So we saw a lot of different players out there, and I think that's partially to do for this Wednesday's game against Charleston.
And also Corey Wolfo.
We have David Wright on the phone next to us here.
Okay.
Got time for David Wright right now?
Absolutely. Let's be joined now by Lindsay Andrazic's player of the game, David Wright, joins us here.
Yes, my choice of player of the game for sure. You know, I think he ran the field back there quite well. He was given the balls, and him and Carlos Mendez were working it back there. David, you know, what was your overall thought on tonight's game?
It was good. We just had two bad goals. I thought we controlled the play. After they scored the first goal, I thought we controlled the play the rest of the game.
Now, Dave, what happened on the second goal? It sounded like Vende took a shot and it just took some kind of crazy bounce and went under the crossbar. What happened on that?
It was a corner kick. The ball got played in. Then we cleared it out. Went right back out wide to the same side. Everybody was stepping up. They played it in again. I actually got a touch on it, not a good one. And then there was 4 guys. I mean, pretty much anybody could pick. And then he hit a good shot, a volley, and I think Theo got a little finger on it and went right underneath the crossbar. That's
a good shot from Vende's third game-winning goal for Syracuse. But, David, you played alongside Carlos Mendez in the middle tonight. How did that work out?
Carlos Tomato played well.
Tomato, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great player. He can, you know, Craig's a great player. Carlos is a good player. And, you know, we have a lot of depth on this team.
All right, Dave. Well, thanks very much for joining us here on Behind the Net. We'll be seeing you Wednesday night in the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinals against the Charleston Battery.
All right, thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks. David Wright, the Lindsay Andrazic player of the game tonight for the Rhinos. The Rhinos drop a 2-1 decision to the Syracuse Salty Dogs at PNC Stadium.
Yes, and also with us we have Sean Securis. Sean, you know, did not play tonight, but you know, what was his overall thoughts on the game?
Overall thoughts on tonight's game. Anytime you come to Syracuse, it's a tough game. You know it's going to be a battle, and they squeaked 2 goals. You know, they scored a tough goal to give away in the first half, and then you know, the guys fought hard and thought we were going to get one for a while, but they got one before we did.
Now, Sean, were you on the 18-man roster tonight or not?
No, I was not.
Okay, are you physically okay for Wednesday night?
I'm ready to go I'll be ready to go on Wednesday.
All right, that sounds great. We're looking forward to seeing you. I know it's tough not playing against your old team, but you'll probably see you Friday night here at Frontier against the Syracuse Salty Dogs, so you'll have your chance then.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm 100%.
Okay, Sean. Well, thanks very much for joining us here on Behind the Net.
Okay, guys.
Sean Syracuse, number 8 for the Rhinos. Didn't get a chance to play tonight, but we'll probably be seeing him Wednesday night. 8 o'clock kickoff against the Charleston Battery, the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup. Lindsay, we have to take a break here on Behind the Net. When we come back...
That's fine.
We
come back, we'll hopefully we might have head coach Tyler Cooling.
Okay, Lindsay, thanks very much. We're back to Lindsay and Drazik and Soccer Sam in PNC Stadium in Syracuse in just a moment. The Rhinos drop a 2-1 decision tonight to the Syracuse Salty Dogs. This is the Rhinos Radio Network. Welcome back to Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct, Andrew Battisti and Rhinos Radio Central. Soccer Sam and Lindsay and Drazik in Syracuse. Syracuse 2, Rhinos 1 tonight. Syracuse goes to 11-7-3 on the season, and they are now in 5th place still in the Eastern Conference. Let's go back now to Lindsay in Syracuse. Lindsay.
Good evening. I thought we would have Pat, but they just stepped on the bus. They actually just took off now, so unfortunately we won't have him on. But, the players are keeping their heads up. They know they played well tonight, and it was just an unfortunate, went the wrong way. Like I said, that last goal bounced the wrong way on the turf, for sure.
So the team is don't have their heads hanging down. That's good to know, because Wednesday night now, the Rhinos have got to just say, this game's over. Now we got to look forward to what will be the biggest game of the year so far. The Rhinos in the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinals against the Charleston Battery. And we have some players, Lindsay, that didn't play tonight. They're going to be ready for Wednesday fully fresh.
Exactly. Sean Syracuse did not play tonight. Craig Demon did not play tonight. But that just goes to show the depth of the team. We had different players out there. Like I said, Carlos Mendes was taking over for Craig Demon out there. Him and David Wright were solid. And, we're mixing and matching, and we're ready to go on Wednesday. The team is ready, for a big win on Wednesday.
Let's go to the phones here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009 is the numbers to call. Let's start off with Brian. Brian, you're up first tonight. Go ahead.
Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Good, Brian.
I thought tonight's game was a very good game. I thought that the Rhinos were going to tie it up and they had to stop it time way before that. One thing, though, I do got to say is I wish that the players would stop, faking like they're hurt, because that really goes on the tempo of the game.
Yes, it does, Brian. You're right. So sometimes when you're playing on AstroTurf, it's a completely different game, and I said it in the chat room all night. The game should not be played on this surface. It ruins soccer. It's just not the same sport, and unfortunately the Salty Dogs have no choice but to play on the surface. There's a couple other teams that also play on it, but hopefully down the road we'll be playing either on field turf or natural grass, and we'll get rid of this AstroTurf once and for all.
Brian, you got to try that. Next time you're at Coyote Joe's or whatever, pretend like you fall down and just maybe you get some girl come over and pick you up for you. You know what I mean? It'd be nice. Buddy.
Yeah, Brian, Sam's on with you too.
Oh, hi, Dr. Sam. Guys, I hope you guys watched the All-Star game yesterday. I heard something yesterday that they're making a movie.
Really? They're making
They're making a movie. Sammy, I'm sure you heard about this, or back me about this. They're making a movie that crew was at the movie crew was at where the All-Star game was, and they said that they're making a movie, a soccer movie.
That's great news, Brian.
I can't remember the name of the movie, but they're making a soccer movie, so all you fans
The name of the movie is Revenge of My Buddy.
Brian, thanks for the call. We'll talk to you Wednesday. I'm going to call us 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009.
Andrew,
go ahead.
Andrew, I just want to apologize to the listeners. I'm sorry. I'm not sure why the players don't take the time to stop and kind of give us a comment, and it's just kind of unfortunate. We're here to try to do our job, but I guess they don't, when they lose, they take it a little too hard, I think, but it's unfortunate for the fans.
Well, I know that David Wright was able to give us a couple comments, and Sean Syracuse, but the team wants to get back to Rochester, I think, and I don't blame them one bit. See, I gotta mention, Brian mentioned about the All-Star game yesterday. I don't know if you heard the pregame show, but something unbelievable happened yesterday in soccer. Raul Diaz-Arce, the former MLS star who now plays for Puerto Rico, he played in the celebration game, the old-timers game on All-Star Saturday yesterday. He scored a goal. He then went to Virginia Beach and played for the Puerto Rico Islanders, and they beat Virginia Beach 2-0.
Yeah, I heard that. It is amazing. But that just goes to it goes to tell you, man, is that the whole thing about being tired and traveling. It's all a mental thing, man. If you're motivated to play, nothing's going to stop you, baby.
Well,
age, whatever. You're just going to play your heart out.
Well, he only played 25 minutes, Sam. I mean, it wasn't like he
played. Yeah, but 25
90.
minutes of hard soccer. But that was a great All-Star game. At the end of the game, they talked a little about Rochester. I don't know if you watched MLS wrap-up last night. They basically said that Rochester's going to be coming to the league in 2006. But who knows? It might be sooner.
Well, we'll have to see what happens. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009 is the numbers to call. Give us a call here on Behind the Net. Let's throw the trivia question out there. You can win 4 tickets to see the Rhinos and the Charleston Battery U.S. Open Cup quarterfinals, 8 o'clock kickoff at Frontier. Be part of history. The Red Wings play at 11:05. The Rhinos play at 8. The first ever baseball-soccer doubleheader in Rochester sports history. Sam, it's going to be a very special night, Wednesday night in Rochester.
Definitely, man. I can't wait, Andrew. The first, 2,500 fans get a Chase Pickin Rhino Rally towel, so hopefully a lot of people show up.
I hope so, Sam. It's a big game. The winner goes on to the semifinals, and we don't know who the Rhinos will play if they win, but whoever it is going to be one of the best teams left in the tournament, that's for sure. So here's the question, 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. In 1999, the Rhinos beat 4 MLS teams to get to win the U.S. Open Cup. The Charleston Battery made the semifinals that year. How many MLS teams did the Charleston Battery beat in the 99 U.S. Open Cup?
Ooh, I like that question.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
That's right, Andrew.
So, Sam, give us...
Nobody gets it right till you're fired.
No, you can't fire me. Only certain higher-ups can do that. So, okay. Sam, the Rhinos, again, they sound like the midfield, and especially the second half, it sounded like the Rhinos midfield really controlled the game, and just a set piece by Syracuse was the Rhinos' downfall tonight.
Tell you, Andrew, I mean, we were kind of critical last week on the away game on what happened, but tonight, man, they totally dominated play. It's just they were playing against a referee and a weird bouncing ball. The weird bouncing ball, it just went in Syracuse's way. It was a bad bouncing ball for both teams. It just bounced right for Syracuse, and they got their second goal.
Well, then it happens sometimes in soccer. You can dominate play and still come up on the short end of the stick. That's just the way the sport goes sometimes. Yeah. And you just have to deal with it and put it aside and come back home. Now, the Rhinos have 3 games in a row at home, and we need to win all 3 games. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts at this point.
Well, we have to win. I mean, we have to. Montreal right there, just knocking that Montreal out of it's going to be tough right now. And the 4 spots, they're definitely going to probably get one of the 4 spots. And in a weird way, if we don't get the first spot, I'd try to, I wouldn't mind like the 4th spot or the 3rd spot. I mean, third plays the second, right? So that's probably the way to go. If you're the 4th spot, you probably got to play the first.
Well, if it's Montreal, I don't think the Rhinos would have too much trouble. The Rhinos have had a lot of success against Montreal in the playoffs. So, and then again, it doesn't matter really if you finish 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th because it's still a home-and-home series. There's no advantage really for either team. So it's really just getting into the top 4. So the Rhinos are really facing up against Syracuse and Virginia Beach at this point. That's who they're going to have to beat out. And Syracuse has got 36 points right now with 21 matches. The Rhinos have 40 points with 22 matches. But the Rhinos do have more home games left than Syracuse does. So we'll see what happens.
And I'll tell you, the Syracuse bench, well, first of all, their coach, first 5 minutes of the game, he was up off the bench screaming at the official for kind of a late call. But throughout the game, this was like their championship game. I mean, when like a minute left in the game in regulation, the whole team was off the bench jumping up and down, screaming, cheering their players on. And it was just, I'm trying to catch up to the bus right now. Hopefully get you an interview. If you hear the bus in front of me here, I'm trying to catch up right now, Andrew, to give you the proper interviews that our fans deserve, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay. Well, Sam, we got our lines lit up for trivia and for comments. Let's go to the phones. Let's go start with Ben. Ben, you're on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. How are you tonight?
Good, guys. I listened to the game last night, the whole thing. It sounded like we did dominate most of it. I had Doug Miller as my player of the game. I thought he was all over the field and doing a good job at trying to get points for us.
Yeah, Doug likes the AstroTurf. He's one of the few players that seems to play well on that surface, probably from his days in indoor soccer.
Right. I mean, Doug's a natural indoor player with the turf. It didn't bother him at all. I'd say he was probably the offensive player of the game, but David Wright, by far, is the defensive player of the game, probably the overall player of the game. He just was just commanding back there, a lot of head balls. Syracuse likes to play more of an English style, a lot of balls up in the air, and he was just everywhere tonight.
Yeah, I would also agree with that. And I also think it also kind of shows, that Craig Demon really is a presence that really makes a difference on our team and a reason why he's a 3-time MVP. He wasn't in the lineup and we lost, so that might mean something.
That's a good call there. I mean, Craig Demon, I think they're just resting him. He's a little bruised knee, and he's just resting for the Open Cup game on Wednesday. But honestly, I'm not sure if it was a defensive error on why we lost tonight's game. I thought Mendez played fantastic. Tomato, who I'm not a big fan of, don't call me Tomato, call me Tomato, but I thought he played great. I don't think he's a true defender. I think he's more of a midfielder, but I thought he played fantastic tonight, and in place of Billy Sedgwick. And I just thought the defense was solid tonight overall.
Yeah, definitely. And like it said, the good news is we all kinds of good people rested up so that when we play the U.S. Open Cup game, we're going to have all of our best players up there, and we're going to beat up Charleston and win it big.
Well, it's an extremely important match, Ben. I mean, the Battery are out of the playoffs. This is their whole season. To Wednesday night, they're going to leave it all on the field and give their all, and the Rhinos need to be ready for that. Yeah. You ever guessed the trivia by any chance?
No, but I do have a question.
Okay.
Yesterday, at the Minnesota game, there was a guy on the field. He was kind of tall and skinny. He was wearing blue shoes during practice. He didn't play during the game. I was wondering if you knew who he was because I didn't recognize him.
You mean on Friday night you're talking about?
Yeah.
Do you have dreadlocks, like?
Yeah, dreadlocks.
He's their newest player. He's a young kid. I talked to him tonight to see if he'd come on the radio show, but I guess he's not officially signed yet. He's waiting for some kind of release.
Okay.
Andrew, you got his name down there?
No, I don't, Sam, unfortunately.
It's something Kumba. Something like, it's a tough name to pronounce, but he's kind of a discovery player. He's a young kid. He's just right out of high school, and he looks really young, but he's tall. He's a forward, and the Rhinos decided to sign him before the signing deadline to get him onto the roster, but we'll see what happens.
All right, yeah, I was just wondering about that.
Okay, Ben, thanks for the call. We appreciate it.
Yep. All right.
Bye-bye. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Those are the telephone numbers. Again, that trivia question, how many MLS teams did the Charleston Battery beat on their way to the U.S. Open Cup semifinals in 1999? So, Sam, the Rhinos or the Battery both were in the semis in 99. The Rhinos went all the way, but both these teams know how to win in the U.S. Open Cup, so it should be a great, great match.
It's going to be just a fantastic match. Like you said, Charleston, really, the league's over for them. This is everything for them. If their coach could pull off the Open Cup and just keep on advancing, he probably will save his job. So this is a big game for their coach.
It certainly is, Sam, and we can't say enough. Again, the starting time, a special starting time of 8 o'clock. So if you get out of work, you got time to have dinner at home or come out to the stadium, have dinner there. You don't have to rush around. 8 o'clock kickoff at Frontier, the Rhinos and the Charleston Battery. And then
Andrew, I mean, it's great. The 8 o'clock start, all the kids are playing soccer, and even the veterans. I play in the WFSL on Wednesday nights. They play. All those guys are 40, 50, 60 years old. Stevie Hasso, 60 years old, was the weekend warrior in the newspaper the other day, still playing soccer from the Busy Bee restaurant. He'll go play soccer Wednesday night and then jog. He'll jog from Allison Park right to the game. 8 o'clock start. I can't wait.
He's a true fan, Sam. He's a great player. Let's start with Bill now on Nextel Direct call-in show Behind the Net. Go ahead, Bill. How are you?
Hey, all right. Kind of a tough loss. I listened to it on the radio, and I don't know. All I kept hearing was things like high bounces. And I mean, have they talked at all about getting rid of that AstroTurf there? Has there been any discussion in Syracuse about that?
It'll never happen. Syracuse has AstroTurf.
Never say never, though, Bill. Let me tell you what's going on. I'll give you the scoop on it because I'm soccer's only real journalist. Is the Syracuse right now, they're waiting. They're kind of, Tim Cool and Frank DeRoss are in daily talks about trying to get a stadium here in Syracuse. And it looks like as soon as the Rhino Stadium is ready to rock and roll, I think Frank DeRoss is going to offer his expertise and help Tim Cool pull it off and build a new stadium here, which could happen as early as next year. They might start doing it. That's the only way that they're going to get a stadium here. The Liverpool High School has artificial turf, similar to the turf we saw tonight here at the PNC Park. But they're real close, and I'm talking like inches away from getting a new stadium.
Well, Bill, I think what Bill was referring to, Sam, and you're correct about their stadium. PNC Stadium will never have anything other than natural grass because The Syracuse Chiefs, Sky Chiefs, the baseball team, is the farm team of the Toronto Blue Jays. The dimensions of PNC are exactly the same as the Sky Dome. The turf is exactly the same. They want the players to move up from AAA to the major leagues with the same surface and the same dimensions.
Andrew, you don't want to ever say never, because if they switch affiliations, kind of like the Red Wings did with the Orioles, I mean, the same thing had happened. They switch a team, and that team, plays on real grass. That could happen. But I don't think we're going to see it in the next couple of years. But I think by the time that happens, they will have their own stadium.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah, and I think it's important, too, that they get a stadium. Maybe they don't need to have 20,000 seats. Maybe they need to have something that suits their needs and their market. But, if people complain about playing on Frontier Field, the MLS teams and things, every team must just be livid about playing on that thing that they call AstroTurf, which is way outdated, and I just think it's got to just be a terrible thing. It's a huge home advantage, and I just wonder how we can even stay close to them. And
Bill, it's only a home advantage, though, if you play like indoor soccer, and that's what Syracuse did. Their first goal was on the ground, 5 guys is knocking it around on the ground. And if you keep it on the ground, you don't bounce the ball. Like Sean Sakir said in our last post-game show, I mean, it's a beautiful surface to kind of knock it around. When you try giving the long balls and takes these wacky bounces, you're right, it's a nightmare. But I think, overall, we did try to keep it down on the ground. We did try to knock it around. I mean, first half, Christina Aguilera's long-lost brother, Pato Aguilera, he was he was trying to do his nice fancy stuff to Doug Miller on the ground. And it just, we couldn't get through. We're getting a lot of offsides on it.
Yeah, now, what about, has there been any real concern that we're not just scoring goals? There's been talk around, the camp at all, around that we just can't seem to score goals, and is there a real concern about that going into the U.S. Open Cup match?
Well, I mean, I haven't heard a concern from the actual team. I've obviously heard it from every fan out there that I run into. I played soccer this morning, and 20 guys were talking to me about why they're not scoring more goals, what the problem with the midfield is to the forwards. I tell you, I saw a really bright sign tonight with Jefferson Dargaud. I mean, the guy's like 6'2", probably 200 pounds. He took on a guy, and he just flew down the flank, and the speed, and his cross is right on. So I think that there's a player there that could maybe be our answer for that big forward up top to kind of feed off of Carrier and Miller. But, it's just a matter of time.
And also, Bill, don't forget the name Ian Fuller, too. He's going to be back probably on Wednesday, and he could easily play forward.
Well, what kind of game shape is he in, though? He can't be in very good game shape.
Well, he's been practicing with the team. He just didn't play on. He was ready to go Friday, but the coach held him out and didn't want him to play on this surface for obvious reasons.
Right.
But I think Wednesday is a good chance we'll see Ian Fuller back in the lineup. And when he was playing, the Rhinos were even a better team than they are currently.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'll take a shot at the trivia.
Okay, how many MLS teams did the Charleston Battery beat in the '99 Open Cup?
I'll say 3.
3 is not correct.
Oh, okay. Billy, baby, 3. We can't say if it's high or low, Billy, but nice try, buddy.
Hey, okay, guys, we'll see you on Wednesday.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
All right.
Sam, let's take a break. Here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. We come back, we'll take some more calls at 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009 here on the Rhinos Radio Network. Welcome back to Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Communicate instantly with the walkie-talkie feature for up to hundreds of miles. No more voicemail and no more phone tag. Just instant contact with coworkers, friends, and family. Every Nextel phone comes with a built-in walkie-talkie feature, and it even works from coast to coast. Call 350-2000 for more details. Syracuse 2, Rochester 1 tonight at PNC Stadium. Rhinos drop to third place in the Eastern Conference. Richmond now moves into the second spot after beating Atlanta 2-1 tonight at DeKalb Memorial Stadium in Georgia. Back now to Soccer Sam in Syracuse. Sam.
Well, Andrew, earlier I was with Lindsay. Unfortunately, Lindsay right now is on another phone talking to her psychiatrist. She's all messed up because the players wouldn't talk to her. It's probably her fault, but it's just unfortunate.
Hey.
I want to apologize to all the fans. Sorry we did not have the players on tonight. It's part of our show. We're supposed to have the players on and the coach. But maybe, Andrew, during one of the breaks, maybe you guys can line up the coach through the methods. You know how to do it.
Well, we'll give it a shot, Sam, but we got to go now to the phones again because the lines are lit up like crazy. Everybody wants to go to the Open Cup match on Wednesday against Charleston. Super Dave is next here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Dave, how are you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Well, it's a little rough game tonight, but, just got to put it aside and look forward to Wednesday.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm on the thruway right now in the Slick Mobile, just passing exit 40 on our way back to Rochester.
Hey,
Sam, it was good to see you back there, man. Did you give any donuts to Lori or what?
I gave him a couple donuts, man. Me and the coach, we share shirts, so we were the same size, So he was animated tonight, wasn't he, Dave?
Yeah, he was animated. I think he was talking to that linesman that basically blew the match. I mean, what was that linesman smoking, man? Come on.
Well, Dave, there was one play where David Roy got chopped, right in front of him, double cleated into him, and the ref in the middle of the field called it, and the linesman didn't raise his flag, didn't wave or do all the wacky things they do. I'm thinking this guy was just in another world.
How about when he called the ball out of bounds on the white line when he should have been looking at the yellow, and Miller was arguing? I mean, come on. The guy, I don't know what he was doing. But I want to take a shot at the trivia if I can, guys.
Okay, sure. Dave, again, how many MLS teams did the Charleston Battery beat in the U.S. Open Cup in 1999?
2.
2 is incorrect.
Doggone it.
Darn.
That's all right.
Good.
I'll still be there on Wednesday, and I'll give Paul Calloway or whatever his name is that one big striker they got for Charleston. I'll give him an earful anyway.
All right, Dave. Well, thanks.
Conway, that's his name, Conway.
Yeah, Paul Conway. Well, he didn't play on Friday. I don't know what happened. I'll have to check with Andrew Bell down in Charleston, but he and Simmons both did not play against Atlanta Friday. So
I think he was in there getting something done about that big old bald spot on the back of his head. I don't know.
Ooh.
All right, Dave. Thanks for the call. Have a safe trip back.
All right, cheers, guys.
Thanks for being there, Dave. That was cool. A lot of fans are there, Andrew. It's just amazing. Jeff Veronica from Democrat Chronicle was there. It was cool to see that so many Rochester fans. You walked at halftime, you're walking around, and I had 6 hot dogs in my mouth, and I looked around, and everyone had Rhino jerseys on. It was kind of cool.
That's great. It's, again, the Rochester fans. Just a short trip up I-90. It's the closest, I believe, the closest 2 teams that are physically close to each other in the A-League. Rochester and Syracuse, the best local derby that there is in soccer in this country, probably. Jay is up next on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Go ahead, Jay. How are you?
I'm good, Andrew. Making my way home on the thruway, too.
All right. Well, make sure to drive safely.
That's the only way to go. Hey, I've been on a lot of road games. I got to tell you, when I walked into Syracuse, probably my biggest disappointment. I knew we were going to be playing on turf, but I looked at that field and I thought, my God, put a roof over this place and we're playing an indoor soccer game. I just can't believe that they allow these guys to play, on a field that are those dimensions, but both teams had to play on it. A couple of remarks, and probably in the grand picture of soccer in the United States, there's got to be some way to get this officiating under control at all of these games. It would not be acceptable in any of the other sports at any level within the United States. These guys are just either missing calls, not seeing calls. And the referee, I can understand, he's not going to see everything on the field, but there's some stuff that I'm right down in 118, 3 rows back. I'm watching the referee to see where he's looking at stuff. I got to tell you, it seemed to me like he was paying more attention to what was going on in the stands sometimes, and also carrying on conversations with the players than what he was doing and taking care of his job. It's just very disappointing to have not necessarily the outcome of the game, but too much of the influence of the outcome of the game hinging on officials that I think are far less of a caliber than other professional sports.
Well, geez, let me tell you my theory on this, and I said this before. And by the way, nice seeing you there at halftime, buddy. But my theory on this is that a lot of the referees, they do maybe one pro game every 2 to 3 weeks. Throughout the week, they're doing indoor, they're doing high school, they're doing 12 and under, and the adult leagues, and it's just different, man. It's not like they're constantly doing it. This is a part-time gig for them. They fly in, a couple hours before the game, or they drive in, and it's a part-time gig. And the speed of play is so different between pro soccer and amateur soccer, and I think it messes them up. And I think that the rust points. I've said this for years. When a referee makes a bad call in the middle of the field, he's rusty. He's trying to get the game to stop so he can catch his breath. And that's what's happening here, because these guys aren't doing it every day.
That's a very good point, Sam, that the referees need to be in nearly as good a shape as the players do. I mean, they have to do almost as much running as the players, and the referee needs to be in position. That's where, again, the assistant referees have got to be there in position themselves to do their job and assist the referee. If the referee is not there to make a call, it's the job of the assistant on either side to assist and make the call if necessary, and then be there in position for the offsides. And the Rhinos were offsides a bunch of times tonight. And a lot of people are saying the linesmen are not looking to see when the ball is played. They're looking to see when the player receives it. And that's not what you're supposed to do.
Well, and both your remarks are right on the money. I was as unhappy with particularly the assistant on the far side of the field as I was anything. But for the game of soccer, the organizing leaders of this thing have got to figure their way through. What do we do to position our officials so that they aren't as big a part of the outcome of the game as they are now? Or I'm afraid this sport's just not going to carry over, into people who are, if you will, marginal fans. I mean, my God, sometimes you look at it like watching pro wrestling, for Pete's sake. You know what I'm trying to say.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, Jay, but one thing that people have talked about is having two referees instead of one. I mean, that's done in high school. I believe they still do two referees, and what it allows is one referee. Well, the referees don't have to run as far, and they're in better position, but that would be a very radical thing to do, I think.
Well, and I've heard talk about it too, but given what you guys have said about these folks being part-timers and their fitness levels and that they only do, a game maybe every 10 or 12 days, I think maybe having that second official on the field would go a long, long ways toward making it a better game. Player game for me, I got to tell you, it's tough to pick. I don't necessarily disagree with David Wright, but Yari Alna was absolutely all over the place. He was giving these guys fits.
Yeah, Yari Alna did play a great game first half. He was up and down. Andrew, he had probably 12 or 15 headers, and a lot of those headers, he's up there, and he's getting poke butted in the back of the head, he's getting elbow in the back of the head, just shakes it right off, gets right back, and back to the whole thing, age is just a number, man. That guy can work.
Yes, he can. Dave, Jay, have you guessed the trivia?
One.
One is correct.
Hey!
Congratulations. You hang on the line, and you get 4 tickets to see the Rhinos and the Charleston Battery on Wednesday night for the U.S. Open Cup.
Outstanding, guys. Thank you for your wonderful program. I'm getting off here so I can listen to some other callers. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jay. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Yeah, Sam, the Rhinos beat 4 teams in the U.S. Open Cup in '99 from MLS, but the Battery only had to beat 1 to make the semifinals. So you never know. It all depends on the luck of the draw. We may end up playing, if we beat Charleston, we could play Richmond or Minnesota in the semifinals.
That's amazing, Andrew. You made a comment earlier about Ian Fuller coming back, and Noah got left the field with a knee problem, and he walked out of the stadium with a big bag of ice around his knee. He says he hopes he didn't tear anything, but it felt like a tear. He's going to find out tomorrow, so that will, at least probably sideline him for at least Wednesday night. If it isn't anything serious, probably at least 1 game. And that does open up a spot there for Ian Fuller.
That's very possible, Sam. And there's, of course, Ian Pilarski, another Ian. He had a great Open Cup match against the Revolution. So we may see Ian Pilarski in there. And there's a lot of other players. We'll have to see what Coach Erkley does. It's a different team, the Battery versus the Salty Dogs. So it's going to be a great match on Wednesday. And Sam, do we have 4 more tickets to give away?
I got, you know what? Lindsay's on the phone crying again with her psychiatrist, so I'll give you 4 of Lindsay's tickets. I don't think she's going to be there Wednesday night. I don't know. You're really upset about the players not talking to her.
Well, she's got to get over it. It's part of life. It's your experience, like you and I.
I told you got to wear the red lipstick, but don't get it.
That's how it works. You wear that lippy, and
it works for me.
All right, here's the next trivia. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. We just said that the Battery beat 1 MLS team to get to the semifinals in '99. What team from MLS did the Battery beat in '99 to get to as part of them getting to the U.S. Open Cup semifinals?
I love that question.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, let's take a quick break here on Behind the Net. We'll line the callers up. When we come back, we'll take your calls. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009 here on the Rhinos Radio Network. Back here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Andrew Battisti and Rhinos Radio Central. Soccer Sam and Lindsay Andrazik in Syracuse. The Rhinos lose tonight to the Salty Dogs by a 2-1 scoreline. Doug Miller with the only goal for the Rhinos tonight. Rhinos now play in the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinals on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. kickoff against the Charleston Battery, and then back in A-League action Friday night against these same Syracuse Salty Dogs. And Sam, we don't want to slight the Open Cup, but Friday night's match now with the Rhinos and Syracuse may be the most important A-League match of the year, because if Salty Dogs can win that one, they move into a position where they could overtake the Rhinos for that last playoff spot.
That is a huge game Friday. I mean, this week, Wednesday, Friday night's big. I mean, now the Syracuse is right on our back the way there, Andrew. It's another must-win game. And what happens if the Rhinos win Wednesday night? Are they kind of like on that big high, like what happened last week when they were in Ludlow, then they went to Virginia and kind of lost big? It's tough when you play an MLS team, you play fantastic, and then you go back to the A-League and you're like, wow, man, this should be easy for us, and then you don't give it your all. But both games huge this week, Wednesday, Friday. If you don't have tickets yet, I urge you to get them. If you're a coach, no better way for your kid to learn how to play the game. Andrew, I want to correct you. I'm not just with Lindsay. I'm with our production assistant, Jill. I'm with Johnny Catalano, in charge of the video department with the Rhinos. And Tunes by Todd was here. He's brought his music thing, and we're dancing along throughout the game.
Hey, everybody's there from the Rhinos office and doing a great job as always. Sam, the lines are lit up. Everybody wants to go see this game on Wednesday night. It's great to see.
Those are my people, man. I want to hear from the people.
All right, Joe's up on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Good evening, Joe.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I'm on the way back on the thruway. Always a very competitive match between the Salty Dogs and the Rhinos.
What were your thoughts? You were there. Tell us what you thought.
Excellent. Very hard-fought match. I think just make a point, Carrier came off the bench in the second half. I'm just trying to figure out what Coach is trying to do, save his legs for Wednesday night, or if it was a different philosophy. But, either way, it was still a very hard-fought game. And obviously they didn't win, but still,
I think you're probably right there, Joe, that the Carriere probably did not start tonight because of the Open Cup match Wednesday. We didn't see Corey Woolfolk at all tonight. He didn't play an entire match, so he's going to be completely fresh for Wednesday.
Yeah, another thing, too, guys, about playing on turf, another way you got to look at it. I know every team has to play on turf during the course of the year, maybe once or twice during the course of the year, but whether it's the mall at Grease Church parking lot or it's Rochester Field.
I think we're losing Joe. He's going through a dead spot on the thruway. Joe, you still with us? No, I think we lost Joe.
Oh, we lost Joe. Well, the beauty of this turf, though, back in the day when Seattle played at Seahawks Stadium, what was the name of the old stadium?
The Kingdome.
The Kingdome. I mean, they had the lines everywhere, the football lines, and that's really some awful way to play soccer. But again, I mean, you talk to some of these players, I don't think it's all as bad as everyone makes it out to be. I mean, it's like playing on a carpet. It's like you just got to play nice on the ground and play pretty soccer. You can't, be kicking the ball down and expecting to get the right bounce. It's not going to happen.
Well, I think the big thing is that you can't tackle. I mean, if you go on the ground, you're going to really get a turf burn, and that can really mess you up. And Joe's back with us here from the thruway here on Behind the Net. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, yeah, that's the point I was making, and all that. You do have to make your adjustments throughout the course of the year, but still, it was a very hard-fought game, and these two, when these guys, it's almost like they're getting into the ring like a heavyweight title fight. It's always a competitive soccer game, and I'm looking forward to Friday.
Friday will be a great match, and of course, Scott Schweitzer and Anthony Mayer will both be suspended from that match. So a little bit of an advantage for the Rhinos. We'll also have Bill Sedgwick back from suspension as well, and he'll be fresh. He won't be playing Wednesday as well in the Open Cup because of the 2 yellows he got against New England. So,
Andrew, without Scotty Schweitzer in the back, though, Rene Rivas is going to be forced to play in the back, and that kind of weakens their midfield. Their midfield isn't that strong. I think if Syracuse has a weak point on their team is their midfield, and Rivas kind of controlled the game tonight, playing kind of more of a center midi position, but he's going to have to go right back to the old Schweitzer position in the back there, controlling the back line, and it's going to be a real interesting game on Friday night against the Salty Dogs.
And Seamock Suarez still out injured for Syracuse. We probably won't be seeing him either, and he'll be a player who could control the midfield, but I believe he'll still be out most likely.
Yep.
Thanks a lot for the call.
Okay.
346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Also want to mention on Sunday the 8th, 1 week from tonight, the Charleston Battery will be back in town for an A-League matchup. That'll be a 6:05 kickoff at Frontier Soccer Stadium. So 3 matches at home now for the Rhinos in the next week or so. A lot of chances to see your team in action. And most of the youth leagues are going to be wrapping it up. So hopefully we'll get all the kids out there to make some noise and really get into the match on Wednesday and then on Friday and then Sunday as well.
Yeah, Sunday's big, too. It's Rex Serrano's birthday. I mean, everyone's looking forward to it. I was at the mall all day looking for gifts for Rex. I mean, I just can't wait. Sunday's just a big day for him. And, you know, he's going to be dancing with the Rhinestones who are doing, you know about the Rhinestone Camp? It's
yes.
August 8th, too. Monday morning, you call the Rhino office and kind of, if you got a young daughter or even a young son, I mean, if your son likes to dance and do cheerleading, hey, God bless him. But you can go to the camp, too. 454-KICK.
454-KICK's the number to call, Rhino office, and also for tickets for this week's games. Nicole's up next on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Calm down, Sam. Go ahead, Nicole.
I was thinking of Johnny, the cameraman, with big leotards on, doing his dance with the Rhinestones.
I don't even want to think about that, Sam. I'll get nightmares.
I was having a visual.
Nicole, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. I actually missed the game because I had my own, so I wanted to find out exactly what happened, you know. So.
Well, quick recap for those of you just tuning in. The Rhinos gave up a goal in the 41st minute to Carbajal from Syracuse, and a goal that was disputed due to an offsides, but was not given by the linesman. Doug Miller scored in the 45th. And a rebound or a pass from Yari Allnut, and then Syracuse scored in the 75th minute from Attila Vende, a crazy bounce off the carpet, and the ball went in the net. And Rhinos pretty much had control of the game most of the way, but just couldn't come away with a win tonight.
Yeah, I guess that sucks. I mean, but the Open Cup game's coming up, and I mean, that's going to be a really big game. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully I can come.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Got to get out here from Geneva.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a ride, but I'm working on that. But,
okay.
I mean...
Well, we hope to see you on Wednesday, Nicole. We want to hear from you and hear your voice and cheering on your Rhinos. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye-bye. 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Again, it's an 8 o'clock kickoff on Wednesday night due to the Red Wings playing at 11:05. Give the grounds crew a little extra time to get the field ready for the game. And Sam, hopefully, it looks like it's going to be a perfect day for soccer and baseball. About 80 degrees and sunny, so no excuses for all fans, no weather problems to come out on Wednesday.
And I like the idea of a later start. It's just, Andrew, like I said, I mean, a lot of the adult leagues are playing Wednesday night, and just games start at 6 o'clock. You're done by 7:30, 7:45. You know, you come down with your cleats are welcome, your shin guards are welcome. You come a little late, you enjoy the game. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait. And people that are working late, people got to work 6 o'clock. You don't have to rush now. Go home, relax, have a little dinner, and come to the game at 8 o'clock.
That's right. Jeff's up on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Good evening, Jeff.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Good, Jeff. How you doing tonight?
Is there a trivia answer yet?
No, there isn't. What one MLS team did the Charleston Battery beat in the '99 Open Cup to get into the semifinals?
I would have to say New England.
New England is incorrect. Good guess, though. That's good.
I don't know. Everybody else is beating them, so.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
Was not New England.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Jeff. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Andrew, can I correct you, though? If somebody guesses something and it's wrong, it's not a good guess.
Well, at least it was an MLS team. He guessed. That was a good guess to that point.
Oh, whatever.
Well, you know, you gotta give people. You gotta encourage the fans, Sam. It's very important.
Encourage them?
Yes, you gotta encourage them. You gotta say, good try. Just like another guy called Soccer Man. I've heard of him. He always says you gotta encourage the kids. We gotta encourage our callers.
Soccer Man is with us tonight. I didn't tell you that earlier. He's in the car, and maybe later on we'll have him on the show with us. But Andrew, this is the thing, though. Let's say I call you up, right? And I'm dying to get these 4 tickets. And the first thing comes out of your mouth is you say, good guess, but you're wrong. So I'm thinking, the minute I hear you say good guess, I'm like all excited. I'm like jumping up and down. And you say, you're wrong. It's like, boom, I'm devastated again.
All right, well, I'll make sure to be careful about that. When Connor, I think Connor's going to get the right answer, Sam. I got a good feeling about it. Connor, go ahead. You're on Behind the Net.
Hey, what's going on?
No, not much, Connor. How you doing?
pretty good, but I'd like to complaint against Syracuse.
Okay, well, it's your show. Go ahead.
Okay, well, you know the Stampede on our, the Stampede cheering club type thing?
Yes.
Yeah, well, on their team, they have an official one like ours, and they were saying some pretty nasty things. Could you imagine the worst word?
Oh, we can't. Don't say it, please.
I won't. I'm not going to.
I know. I just
I'm
never,
saying.
just.
And they were saying that you rhinos about 20 times in a row.
Well,
Really?
They must be English fans.
As loud.
Nothing against you English fans, but I've heard some chants in the English when I went to England. Believe me.
No. Are you insulted because they're insulting your group, or because of the kids in the crowd?
The kids in the crowd and both, yeah, I mean,
here's my theory on that, okay? I mean, my love of soccer came during, watching international games and going to Italy and watching World Cup games and going to Spain and going to Mexico. And, people are just so into it, you can't control it. The problem I have is that when people are upset, and I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this, when people are upset about different fan groups saying vulgarities, then I think we should be as concerned as players on the benches doing the same thing. Tonight, the Syracuse bench, they were F-bombing like you wouldn't believe. And it was as clear and as loud as could be. The coach was effing to...
Calm down, Sam. Calm down.
No, but I mean, it was like, I felt like somebody should do something about that, because if I have a young kid, that is so offensive to me. Here is you're right there. And I know people say, well, it's sports and they can't control it. It's entertainment. You won't go to a play if a guy slips at a play or I can't even think, but I mean, he's not going to start swearing at the people around him. I mean, that should be controlled as much as the different fan groups.
Well, Sam, if anybody on the bench was doing that at the referee should send them off. They should get a red card if they're doing that to the referee. So it must have been.
I think though, like Andrew, I mean, I can tell you, like in Virginia Beach and in Richmond, where there wasn't a lot of people in the stands, you could hear everything that was said on the field and on the bench. And if we're going to be worried about different fan groups being vulgar, I think that the league should be more in tune on what the players and the coaches are saying. I haven't heard our players or our coaches do that, but I can tell you the opposing teams, it's awful.
What do you think, Connor?
Well, it's supposed to be a family sport, so I don't
right.
understand why these guys are having such a problem keeping their mouths shut.
Well, that's a good point, and I'm sure that, we know Tommy Tanner is the GM of the Salty Dogs. I know that he doesn't condone anything like that. And, some people, unfortunately, they don't realize that this is not Europe, this is the United States, and that things are done a little bit differently here than they're done in Europe. And, we can't be doing things like that, so.
Connor, the positive end of it all, though, Connor and Andrew, when you pull into the stadium, there's a bunch of people with grills out there having the pregame cookouts and kind of tailgating party, and I think that same group of people go into the stadium and they're just having a good time. I mean, if you go to a Bills game, I mean, there's people around you that are hammered or doing some crazy things. You just got to move, I guess. I mean, you can always move away from fans that are kind of doing the wrong thing, but when it's happening on the field, it's right there and it's echoing in an empty stadium, that's a tough thing to control.
That's a good point. And Sam, that Frontier, we have a family section. I believe it's section 224 as a family section that they try to discourage that. And there's going to be, I think in the new Paytech Park, there's going to be a special supporters section. So people want to go crazy, not necessarily, do vulgarity, but if they want to chant and, scream and do things, say things to the other opposing players, they can do that and then not have to worry about, offending anybody next to them. So
is Connor still with us?
Yeah. Can I get a guess on that trivia?
Yeah, guess of the trivia. Go ahead. Go ahead, Connor. What is your guess?
My father says Washington Wizards.
Washington Wizards.
Washington Wizards. Probably the wrong sport. Good guess.
What are you doing, Dad?
I swear he said Washington
You know what,
Wizards.
Sam?
Connor, what about the guy with the flag running up and down the sidelines the whole game, and when they scored the 2 times, circled the stadium? I tell you, that kid's in shape. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, he's the one that was swearing and everything.
Really?
Oh, really? He was the one?
Yeah.
I thought maybe he was part of the Salty Dogs kind of fun team thing, because he was like pretty much on the field running around with his flag. I'm surprised that was happening. But Connor, hang in there, buddy, and just kind of close your ears when you hear those vulgarities, right, man?
Yeah, I hear it all the time.
Thanks a lot, Connor. Number to call is 346-3000, 1-866-552-1009. Let's take our final break here on Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. We'll wrap it up after this here on the Rhinos Radio Network. Welcome back to Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. Andrew Battisti and Soccer Sam in Syracuse. The Rhinos lose tonight 2-1 to the Syracuse Salty Dogs. Sam, we have one last caller, one last chance to give away these 4 tickets.
Oh, this is big. Go for it.
Max, you've got the last shot at it tonight. You're the last caller on Behind the Net tonight. How are you?
All right, guys. Best that I can come up with, DC.
DC United, that is correct.
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations. Yes, it was DC United. They beat them 4-3 in extra time. The Battery did in 1999. So hang on the line, Max. You're going to get the 4 tickets to see the Rhinos in Charleston on Wednesday night.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks a lot, Max.
Hey, Andrew, before I go, baby, I just want to say one last thing, baby. If Connor's listening still, Friday night, obviously Wednesday night, Charleston's in town. Friday night, Syracuse is back in town. And if their cheerleading team comes there, those guys that are vulgar, Andrew, I would let Connor use your earmuffs, buddy. Let him use your earmuffs, and that way he doesn't hear that stuff. All right, buddy? I'm out.
Thanks, Sam. And that's going to do it tonight for Behind the Net, brought to you by Nextel Direct. I want to thank everyone for listening in. Thanks to Bob D'Angelo, doing a great job behind the board here tonight here at WYSL. Also the other engineers along the Rhinos Radio Network. Don Stevens with the call from Syracuse. Eric Trendle, Director of Media and Community Relations. GM Chris Economides. All the staff of the Rochester Raging Rhinos, including Lindsay Andrazik and Jill Cummings and Johnny Catalano. Voted as one of the 5 best-run sports franchises in existence. They do a great, great job. Thanks also to David Wright and Sean Securis, who joined us from Syracuse after the match. And thanks, everybody, for listening. Our next broadcast of Rhino Soccer, Wednesday night, 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock kickoff. The quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup at Frontier. The Rhinos hosting the Charleston Battery. For Soccer Sam, I'm Andrew Battisti. Once again, the final score from Syracuse, the Salty Dogs 2 and your Rhinos 1. Good night, everyone.